Now hold up, check the sound, flip the switch.
Back up though, so but once he does, he will be yeah, ready to rumble into round number 2 by the looks of things, and then Michael Osler just behind him,
ready to rumble into round number 2.
Commentating these things sometimes, you just say all these things that you just would never say ever.
I'm surprised you could get that out.
Okay.
Yeah, so going back to this event, yeah, we've been really blessed with some great conditions today, and I'm pretty sure we're dealing with 20-minute heats.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the main issue that we're going to see is 4 guys in 20 minutes. Here we go, Joey Morton taking off.
It's a beautiful looking wave.
Yeah, it is. Look at this thing coming in. Come on, Joey.
So that was...
Unfortunately, it went a little bit fat.
That's the sort of a wave that we were just talking about. When you're taking off, when you're actually in the water and you're looking at a wave, it just goes... Just this beautiful little left wedge. You might get a barrel, might get a bowl, but then it sort of just tapers off a little bit too quick.
Yeah.
And then as what you were saying, you're sort of looking for those ones that look like they might just close out, but then that wedge just pushes through. So that was a perfect example for those guys, for you guys watching at home. And look at this, it's just trying to...
Pretty smart surfing, just catching like a little score and getting something under the belt. I think I was quite smart, and moving back into the rip so he can get back out the back easier. That was well played actually by Joey. Realising he probably didn't get the score he wanted on his last wave, and being in 4th priority, opted to catch a smaller inside one and getting a couple of moves in. So it's smart. Like, strategy comes into a 20-minute heat, a 4-man 20-minute heat, hugely. You know, let's take that first heat and break that down with Toby, my brother, and who advanced in that last heat, and Liam Flanagan. Both the guys ended up opting to catch kind of average style waves and just trying to get a move in under the belt, which was, both of them did a nice clean El Rolo. Beautiful El Rolos, but what they did risk by doing that is they lose their priority, and then it leaves, I guess, the gate open to another guy. If that perfect 10-point ride does come through in that heat, the other guy's going to get it and going to outscore you. So it's a little bit of a gamble, and it's going to be, you know, I think there's going to be a lot of people that fall into that sword today, where, you know, they try and take that strategy of getting a couple in under the belt and then they leave it open for someone else to catch that 10-point ride, and, you know, the 10-point ride will obviously knock them out.
Yeah, 100%. How have you used like the likes of strategy throughout your career? You basically just sort of talked a little bit about that, but I guess through your career surfing a whole range of different waves, like pipe, for example. Like pipe, on a pumping day, you're just going to get really good waves no matter what. So how would you use, like, what do you look for in terms of like your strategy? How do you sort of plan your heat? What do you sort of do to sort of make sure that you're always on the best waves and sort of moving on through?
I guess the most challenging thing about competitions is like judging criteria means that set waves get scored probably about another third or another half more than a normal inside wave. So you pretty much always got to be on those set waves to be able to get the full scoring potential. I've always been a little bit against that, because I believe that, you know, good surfing is good surfing. It shouldn't really matter on the size of the wave, and it leaves it way open to strategy. You know, so for me, like, to be able to play to that game of using that strategy to my favour, like when I go to somewhere like Hawaii where you got a 4-man heat and the 20 minutes, my strategy was always to not even try and catch any inside ones. I'd just wait for the set.
Just wait for the set.
If I don't get the set, I'd get knocked out. You know, and that was the strategy I'd always take. And, you know, if you get 2 set waves in that 20-minute window, pretty much, you know, there's a really good chance you're going to make it. Oh, here we go, Joey. Nice one.
Yeah, solid
nice smooth El Rolo. That was really good. It's going to be hard to push out of that though. So much power. He's done well to push out of that.
Very well.
So he's used a nice little strategy. He caught like a quick little right, did a spin and then a Rolo previously. paddle back out in 4th priority, catches a wave that no one else wanted, and did a nice little strong El Rolo, and he's probably going to be sitting up there 1st or 2nd after that score drops.
Yeah, so that little, as you see this little replay on your screens right now, this is a tough section to push through, and he did really, really well to sort of drive all the way through the whitewash. And you can just see his head pop up there. But he's looking just to replace a 1.83, so he's going to do. He's definitely going to do that. His that little right hand wave that he got a little combo on was a 3.67. So that last wave of Joey Morton, the big roll, came in at a 4.33. So it actually bumps him up to 1st position. So Noah Gilroy, who's got the highest heat wave.
Oh, here we go, Rat taking off. That one sunk back into the rip. I know that sounds like a very technical term. I'll go into that in a second. But it's still a nice little roller. Look at that. That's an example of a very experienced competitor knowing to push his board out halfway through the roll to make it extend and look like a bigger roller.
Yep.
Yeah, so going back to what I was talking about sinking into the rib. So I was talking about it previously, how you get a really strong current in the northern corner here. And what happens is when the wedge hits the face of the wave, it'll hit with a lot of power, and the wave will stand up and look like it's going to do something. But then as it kind of comes further inside, if it isn't big enough, it will just sink back into all that water that's getting pushed out by the rip and die into nothing. Yeah,
and as we are moving into the low tide about 1:30 this afternoon. That's why we sort of started a little bit later here. We will be running over the 2 days, so we're just trying to make, with plenty of swell on the cards and good winds sort of predicted across the whole weekend. We did decide to push it back a little bit to sort of make the best of this lower tide.
Low tide.
That's
correct. And yeah, this at Whale Beach, it's always best on the lower tide. So I think it's really smart that you guys did that and opted for that kind of strategy. And tomorrow, I think is going to be really, really, really good. It's looking like a really good size for it, and the wind's going to be great the whole day. So yeah, we're on. Oh, here we go. Rat taking off. Nice position.
And he
pushes through. Smart surfing.
So we just
push out.
We're seeing conditions really clean up though. This morning it was quite big, quite raw. That rip was pushing through, and it was making things quite difficult. But you can see that the wedges are a whole lot more defined now. They're sort of coming through, and when the riders are taking off, they're actually a proper A-frame and with a little bit of a drive down. So yeah, looking like with about 7 minutes to go in the heat, Michael Ostler's last wave, that roll came through at a 3.9, so he's just bumped himself up to 1st position. Joey Morton is in 2nd. Noah Gilroy, who's still sitting on a 7.83, hasn't backed it up. So he's looking for he's only needing a 0.18, so he almost just has to have a sniff at a wave and he'll get that.
Yeah, so what Noah's smart doing what he's doing and taking the strategy he's taking, because he's got 6 minutes 42 left in this heat. So he knows he probably only needs something very small, like a 1.8 ride with 0.8, which is nothing. So what he's hoping to do right now is take control of the heat with maintaining priority. And if that 10-point ride comes through, he'll be on that.
Yeah.
So that's really what he's waiting for, to build on his high score that he's got already. But with the score that low that he needs to get at 1.08, it pretty much means that he can wait until the last 10 seconds, take off on a wave and go straight, and he's probably going to come close to getting it. But he's a very talented rider, so he's definitely going to do more than just going straight.
Yeah, 100%. And you can just see the scores and the timer just on your screens now, thanks to the guys at the webcast. So you can sort of see Michael Ostler is in 1st position, Joey Morton in the yellow is in 2nd, Noah Gilroy in the 3rd, and here's the man we were just talking about. So it is like quite a smart strategy, because essentially what he's doing right now is holding priority. He doesn't want to give the guys any time to get another opportunity. So he's, as you said, he can pretty much just take off, do a little forward spin or a roll, and he'll get the score. But what he's doing is holding him down, so if that good wave does come through, he can sort of get the bigger score, put the real pressure on 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and basically, as the time goes down, the guys will have less opportunity to sort of get that score. So, he's in 3rd position, but he's probably in the best position.
That's correct. Yeah, that's how I'd play it too. So it can sometimes be. It's a real blessing to get a high score straight away, because it settles the nerves. You realise, hey, I don't need much to get through this heat, but at the same time, you also want to back it up and get another really good score. And sometimes it can be a bit of a curse, because you kind of end up just waiting for that perfect wave, and then luck might not go your way, and that wave might not never come through, and you might not get a chance to get a little tiny inside one right at the end, and you get knocked out. So that can happen from time to time. And so you got to be a little bit careful. So he'll probably start making his run for a small inside one in a couple of minutes' time. Oh my goodness! Did anyone just see that barrel?
You can just see that just on the right bottom side of your screen. There was an absolute cracker that coming through. That's actually quite an interesting. Some of the best waves we've seen this morning have just pushed down a little bit further south of where
we call
the guys are sitting.
That second wedge, actually.
Second wedge.
In Whale Beach terminology.
Yep.
It's called second wedge, and that's where the goes for kind of wave. The wedge pushes across at more of a 90-degree kind of angle and hits the wave kind of more square. Yep. Versus on the back peak where the guys are sitting at the moment, it kind of actually pushes a little bit out to sea there. Yep. And has a tendency to push up the face. So when you're taking off, the wedge is trying to kind of push you back at the same time, making it quite challenging to get the right line into it. And the second wedge, does have a tendency to get some really good waves when the swell's south like this.
Yeah, amazing.
But when you're out there, when you're surfing second wedge, you see all these empty ones up in the corner, and you have a tendency to kind of want to paddle up there and get those because you're not seeing the inside ones where you're sitting. So quite often, guys will sit right up in the corner and not really sit so much on second wedge there. Yeah,
and you always see those empty ones. We've got the same at nights as well. We call it gassies.
Oh, okay.
And you always see these waves that are just like pushing past where you're sitting in the corner, and they just get they're those ones that are just the squarest, fastest waves. But then you sort of sit there for a whole surf and you actually don't even catch one. When you're up in the car park, you see about 6 of them come through. It's always that way. It's the beauty of surfing, I guess, isn't it?
This one could actually hold up, maybe. No, the guys opted to leave it. It's crazy, right? Always the best waves go back to Mother Nature, and it's kind of a cool thing, that Mother Nature doesn't get destroyed in every single wave, and it gets a couple to ride itself.
Yeah, we can see yellow, the young Joey Morton. He's currently sitting in second position with a few solid scores.
Smart.
And
very smart surfing.
So he's looking to replace a 3.67, which might make Noah's task a little bit harder. But as we're talking about, he's sitting on a 7.83, so he's not needing much of a score to get through, but time is sort of slowly running out for him. And this is he's been surfing quite smart, this young guy, Joey Morton.
He's smart. He's a smart kid. He's a really smart kid, and he helps out with Toby's store, and Toby says he's really capable of doing really well down there. So. If you guys ever need anything, any bodyboards, any kind of technical advice or any kind of help with your bodyboarding needs, head on down to Bodyboard King and visit my brother, Toby Player, and see Joey. Those guys will be sure to help you out. They're also sponsoring this event, which is really nice of them.
Yep. And I can attest to Tobes' customer service firsthand. I got some stuff off him the other week and just emailed him just a quick question, and just within a couple of hours had that email back or the phone call back. Like that from just a customer's perspective is amazing, and it's definitely goes far in making yourself, I guess, one of the best bodyboard shops in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see Noah just having a quick look at that. Time sort of slowly ticking away, 1:20 seconds remaining.
So Noah's he's going to try and strike pretty soon and try and get that backup score that he needs to make it through the heat. But here we have
Tate Martinez
going for a reverse 360. It was pretty nice. I don't think he's going to get his 7.68 that he needs for that ride, but he's definitely going to close the gap a little bit. But we've got a minute, under a minute left, so it's time's getting away from him.
Tate Martin, he's a name that's just been around for a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah. So he was in our crew, when we grew up, and we've always been mates. And it's really fun. It's a really fun vibe we got. Like this morning, we all went for a paddle out our local reef called Little Avalon, and it's everyone knows each other and loves each other. Oh, here we go, Rat. What have we got here, mate? That's beautiful. Oh, that was sick. Come on, mate. Push through that.
If he pushes through that.
Oh, he's so close. Come on. Oh, no.
You can see him kicking.
No, but it's still, that was an incredible roll. How clean was that bottom turn?
Yeah, that looked like it was going to line up to be an absolute smoker, and he just pushed straight through the lip.
Yeah.
Now, 10 seconds to go. Noah Gilroy has literally just got to...
Come on, Noah, you idiot.
just got to try to catch something.
Come on, mate. What's this guy?
And
is he going to be on?
This is that situation as we count things down that we were just afraid of, and you can just see the replay of that last wave of Michael Osler just trying.
Sick roll. Sick
roll.
bottom turn. Really nice wave. Far out. That's unfortunate for Noah. I feel quite sorry for him because, you know, he's off to a really good start and unfortunately didn't back it up. He only needed a 1.08 in order to advance in that heat.
This is all he needed, really, wasn't it?
That's all he needed, and just scoop a little roll off that and he would have easily got it. Oh, sorry, mate.
Oh,
instead he does a flip.
Instead he does a flip just a few seconds after the siren.
Which would have been easily a 6-point ride, and yeah.
Oh, you can see him put his hands up.
In frustration, yeah. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you for now. I need to go get ready for my heat, but thanks for listening, and I hope to be on the commentary a little bit later on.
Thanks, Ben. And before we kick things off into heat number 3, we're just going to go to a short break here at the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro, presented by NMD.
Now hold up, check the sound, flip the switch.
We are into heat number 3, round number 1. My name's Dylan Beach. Ben Player's moved out, but we've been replaced. He's been replaced by his brother Toby, who's just put on an absolute clinic in his first heat, mate.
Mate, I got a lucky first one and a clean roll, so you know that's what you're looking for out here. It's pretty hard to get up to the lip and come out of them. So yeah, I was happy to open the account straight off the buzzer too.
I know. Within a few seconds, you just dropped the highest the highest score of the heat, and you just wham bam, thank you, man.
Pretty lucky, yeah. Bit of local knowledge coming into play, so yeah.
Yeah, so how was it out there, mate? Like, give us a bit of a rundown, because from here it looks pretty challenging, but it does look like it's, I guess, improving a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like it's settled down a bit maybe. Like those rogue sets, when they come in, they're a bit big, and what that does is creates a bit of a current sweeping out through the lineup and chopping it up. There's a nice roll there.
See Josh Cleve.
That was epic. That's a good start.
So once again, we're talking about solid starts. Josh Cleve with a sick roll pretty much off the get-go. So in the heat, we have Nick Chandler in the red, and we have a little bit of live footage. And I think that might be one of the old riders coming in. Yeah. So Nick Chandler in the red, Mick Daly in the white, Josh Cleve, who we just saw, just boost a solid roll, and Sam Giddy in the blue. Josh Cleve, a local boy, well, expats from South Africa now living on the northern beaches.
Yeah, mate, he loves it. He's always out here when it's pumping, so he's one of the biggest frothers you'll ever see.
I was about to say, he's one of those guys that just has so much energy, hey?
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, bro, it's pumping out there, let's go. So, no, he sits out here all the time when it's on, so he'll be really good this heat, as will Mick Daly be. He's a bit of a local fella. Nick Chandler, I think he hasn't gone in this one because he's got a bit of an injury, but Sam Giddy too, he's a local Grom from around here. He's one of the up-and-coming guys, so yeah, it's going to be a good heat to watch. Yeah, you're just talking about Nick Chandler, who's currently not in the water. He had a bit of a nasty wipeout the other week. He hit the bottom of a sandbank of one of his local waves, hit his head, and bit of a delayed concussion and things like that, which is always a little bit scary. Best not to paddle out and cop someone on the head and
yeah, exactly right.
Get it all flared up again.
Yeah, exactly right. And look at these conditions, mate. We were just talking with Ben of just how lucky we are, just to luck into one of the swells of Like the first swell of the year, really, hey?
Yeah. Well, mate, it's been a bit of work. We've been tracking this one for about 10 days now.
Yeah.
So there's me and Benny Oborn and my bro, we've been looking at all the forecasts and saying, let's do it. And I'm stoked. I mean, it could be better, but it could be a lot worse.
Mate, when we get swell and offshore.
Yeah, mate, that's it. And you know what? Yesterday, I'm not sure if you guys were discussing it before about the sandbank. How?
No, well, Ben touched on it briefly. There was basically no bank.
There was no bank, and it was also really like a steep drop off. So it kind of looked a bit like Kaiki or like even California Wedge, just real nasty. There's no way you could have got up to the lip yesterday. It was real backwashy too. So it's kind of cleaned itself up overnight. That shorter period swells kind of ripped into the bank, and he's slowly taking it out. That's why there's a bit of a current, in between the sets. So everyone's trying to hold their position, but what they should do is hopefully prime the bank up for tomorrow. Yeah,
tomorrow looks like a really magical day, doesn't it? Like
fingers crossed.
A little bit less swell, but better winds, and just should be on.
I think that's what we need. We need a little bit, cleaner swell, a few more sections to be able to be hit. So yeah.
If we're talking ideal conditions, what are we looking for out for Whaley? Like swell size, winds.
You want probably a little bit more east in the swell than this.
Yep.
South swell. It's like it's like this. You get the long runners, so you'll be locked into a pit, but it's pretty hard to come out of them. Here we go in the corner. Is this?
Look at this thing.
Josh Cleave scooping in.
Sick wave.
Oh, just getting taken up there. See, that's what I mean. It's just a bit fast. So it does need a south swell to get the stand in the corner, but if you have a bit more east, it's a bit more manageable. So usually with the swells, the way they go is the first day it'll be pretty south, and the next day it'll have a touch more east.
Yep.
As the low moves underneath. So hopefully, that's going to happen tomorrow. Yeah. But it's not bad out there today. It's pretty pumping. Yeah,
definitely can't complain when we've got a nice little bank that wasn't there yesterday, and we've got plenty of swell and good winds. Really, it's just got to. Yeah, lucky stars.
What's this, the 4th year I think this competition has been here, so this would definitely be the most swell we've had, by far. Usually it always has some good waves out here, but it's a bit more exciting to watch people just busting big moves and getting slammed.
Yeah, 100%, and a little bit of variety as well. So I think the first year we had it here, and then the second year or third year we had it down on the south end, and now we're back on the north end. What a beach with variety, left and right wedges.
Yeah, it's good. That's one of the beauties about this beach, and even in the middle can get pretty good.
Yep.
And because it's a shorter beach, you usually get your first wedge and then your second wedge. So there's probably only a 100-metre section in the middle of the beach that's not really affected by wedges. The rest is. So here we go. Look at this, Mick Daly.
So Mick Daly
in white.
Just looking to sort of get around that section. He's done pretty well and found a little bit of a face, but
just little
punches a reverse. He's gone right out of that. So. Just gets caught and can't kick out. Josh Cleave, though, his first wave, 5.33. Judges loving those big rolls.
That's it, mate. Nice clean roll, nice landing, so job done.
Yeah.
If you get one of those, it's not much more you need to do to make a heat today.
So looking at this replay of Mick Daly, Ben called it being sunk in the rip or something like that. Basically sort of like where the rip sort of sucks it out and almost basically just makes the wave disappear on you.
Yeah, it does it, yeah, for sure.
So that was a perfect example of sort of what we were talking about a little bit beforehand.
Yeah, so, it is a challenging day out there today. And I think, it looks like it's actually gotten a little bit better, that wind, don't you think? And maybe the swell's backed off a bit?
I feel like, the swell's backed off. The tide's sort of, you can definitely see just on the beach, the tide's dropped. And it's when you guys, even just compared to your heat into the second heat, the wedges that the guys were taking off on actually looked quite defined, and they actually looked like a solid A-frame that are actually sort of giving guys enough time to get a big roll. So I think we were talking low tide 130. Should just get better and better, and I can't actually wait until we see the latter heats.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So here's Joey Morton, just got out. That was a nice last one he got.
Moving on through into the next round. Of course, today we have a pretty, I guess, a good day of surfing. We started a little bit later just to sort of make the most of these conditions, but we will be running, the pro men's, the women's, and the masters. A great addition to this year's ABA tour is the masters and the women's event, and the drop knee at certain events, which is so sick to see. It's such an amazing, the likes of Lily Pollard, who's competing today, has just done so much for bodyboarding in Australia that it's sick to see, those Lily and the girls given an opportunity to sort of surf out here and you know, go up in some solid conditions.
Definitely, it's pretty exciting stuff.
So, mate, talk us about your day-to-day sort of thing, because we were just talking about obviously Bodyboard King just being the major sponsor of the event, and we're talking about, you know, what was it? One of my recent sort of transactions, and I was just saying,
yeah, you've got something from the shop recently.
I got something from the shop sent down, and I live in South Australia. It's not, as we see, Josh Cleve just looking to back his up. We were just talking about how, well, actually, it all stemmed from Ben was saying that he feels like you're actually surfing a whole lot better than him now, and you've just gone to I've gone to another stage from, and he was saying in the last couple of weeks or months that he's noticed your surfing just go through the roof, and you're just frothing out, and just the drive is back.
Mate, you know what? I think sometimes you get a bit jaded with, if you surf a lot, you sort of get a bit jaded with it. If you don't surf that much, then you just like stoked, you know. And if you're stoked, you surf good usually. Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. A
little bit of motivation just to sort of get the momentum happening.
I can't believe he said that. I think, mate, he always rips harder than me. It sucks having your younger brother just dominate on you, but mate,
he said that in a recent podcast as well.
Right. Yeah, right. There you go. I didn't even know this. I should be listening to his podcast.
Yeah, well, he was basically talking about, I guess, growing up on the northern beaches and just with you and surfing and things like that. And he was saying he felt that he only got better than you in bodyboarding. There was recently, but then he was just saying on the webcast that he just feels like you've just overtaken him again.
No, I don't know. It's just if you're having fun, you're having fun, and that shows through, I think.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I love going surfing with Ben. He always pushes me, and we really push each other.
Do you guys surf much together?
Yeah, you know, like if it's pump around here, we'll go for, like, I'll say, I'll see you down there for the early, and we'll be out. Or if it's going to be good down the coast, I'll sort of say, yeah, I think tomorrow's going to be pumping. Let's head down the coast. Yep. And we'll chase it. And usually, you know, it'll just be us chasing the waves. We don't really take photographers or people, but usually because we know where's going to be good, there will be guys out, and we'll get footage and all that, which is great. But mate, I'm just in it for the good waves, and so is he. So it's just like, it's good. It's kind of back to the good old days when we do it. Just
kind of like the cycle of life, really.
Talking shit in the car and. Just, you know, you can always be yourself around your family. Obviously, they know you're the best. Here we go. Looks like a few sets coming through here. Yeah, and Josh Cleve, a 5.33. You can see the scores on your screen now. Now, this looks like a really nice one. Mick Daly driving through the bottom turn. Oh, big keg. Little check turn. I love that little stall turn. That was a bit Ben Sevo back in the day, wasn't it? A bit steezy, wasn't it? Just like, yeah. Here we go. And some solid sets coming through. And we were talking... I also had a surf early a little bit this morning. You can watch this one from Josh Cleve on the replay. Oh, we just missed it there, but it doesn't look as big as... It feels a whole lot bigger out in the water than it does actually what you're looking at on the screen. Because when you're seeing them, you're dodging sort of solid 4 to 5 foot sets. I was actually very tired after that last heat. I was like, I'm done, eh? Yeah. That was my third surf of the day, though. So I went for a surf at Little Lab this morning, quick one, and then a quick one before the heat. And I thought to myself, oh, here we go. Josh Cleve skipping in. Yeah, this might just get a bit foamier, but he can push. There we go. That was pretty sick. Yeah. So looking to replace a 1.23. He would do that pretty easy off that roll. So you third surf before 10 o'clock. Yeah, well, you know, I don't get many in, so I've got to fit it all in. But yeah, no, that was, I thought to myself as I was pulling out, I probably shouldn't have gone for that second surf. Yeah. I was already feeling pretty tired. Yeah, because that rip is just pumping through. It is, yeah. And that's the thing, you know. You can use that rip to your advantage paddling back out in the corner. Yep. But at the same time, like if you get out the back and you sort of have a breather, next thing you're sort of 20, 30 metres out past the waves, and you got to try to get back in, and then you're sort of behind the 8 ball. It's very hard to hold your position. Yeah, because we've seen this morning some of the best waves that have come through have just been on the inside of everyone or just a little bit further down. Yep. So definitely that rip is playing into a part. And I guess once the guys and girls start to surf 1 or 2 heats, you know, today it's going to be a real, I guess, battle of fitness and sort of like strategy, you know. Definitely working on where to sit. I feel it is a battle of fitness. As I was out there, I thought to myself, the fittest person out here is probably going to win today. Yeah. Because it's just like duck diving the sets is pretty hard, holding position. And when we're sort of like, when you're dodging sort of 4 to 6 foot sets, you're
trying to push all the way through, but then you're trying to get back onto the inside to get the best one. So interesting to see. Josh Cleve dropped a 3.33, so sort of just solidifying his first spot. Mick Daly, he's not far behind, but he's sort of chasing a 6.94. And Sam Giddy, we actually haven't seen too much of Sam since he's been out there. So as we actually might, so it might be an interesting one with about 6.5 minutes remaining. Of course, you're watching the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro presented by NMD. This is the final stop of the ABA Pro Tour. And we've just been blessed with conditions. And huge thanks to you, mate, for backing the event once again.
Mate,
long-time sponsor.
It's got to be done. You know, we love putting our money behind the sport. A lot of our customers, you know, they shop with us all the time. They're very loyal, and I feel that we have to support the tour and all that kind of thing. So it's not me that really does it. It's all our customers who shop through us, and then we have enough money so we can pay for these events. And
it's such a good way of looking at it.
It's a full cycle, you know. So that's good, and thanks to everyone who buys from us, and also NMD who's put their money behind this. So yeah. It's
always the age-old saying, support those that support bodyboarding.
Yeah, it goes to, like, it's been around for a lot of years now, that saying, and it's so true, you know. So I think if you bought from a bodyboard company who supports an event, or anyone who supports bodyboarding, then thanks to you and pat on your back.
Yeah, 100%. And because, it's I guess from, like, in Australia, there's a lot of sort of comments about, you know, the industry sort of lessening, but there's still as many bodyboarders. Like, I surf my local break, and there's more bodyboarders in the water now.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like an underground thing. People love it, you know. So it's totally just done for the passion, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, like the local clubs, like that, it's so sick to see. You know, this event being sort of supported by the Sydney Bodyboard Club. And you know, the local clubs are just the ones that are just absolutely thriving at the moment. And it's, you know, for us back home, the shout out to the SA Bodyboard Club. Our events are getting 45 competitors each event.
Yeah.
And it's so sick to see everyone's just frothing out. And what it really does is it brings those young guys in with the older guys as well. And
it's a full community, you know, and it's just a great social event. Catch up with everyone. You're sort of just talking the same language, you know. It's hard to find that sometimes in life. So, yeah, you're hanging out with your brothers, really.
Yeah, 100%.
Good. Here we go. I can see some stacking on the horizon. I wonder if they're going to be too big or not.
Yeah, amazing on what you're looking on the screen. If you look at the very top, you just see that swell just trucking through on the horizon. This is, of course, one of the biggest swells that's hit the East Coast this year so far. And it's just aligned perfectly for the weekend that we're here for the, of course, the ABA Pro Tour. We will be crowning the champions this weekend as well. So Lachlan Cramsey taking out the first event up at D-Bar. So he's into round number 2, and he'll be looking to definitely go back-to-back with the Aussie Tour. Who's going to be a tough one to beat? Who's your pick for the weekend, other than yourself?
Oh, no, I think anyone who's a local is going to be hard to beat in these conditions, because, you know, it's a bit tricky out there, and obviously they've had a bit of experience in these kind of waves. So I think that's going to be the ones to beat. Yeah, the locals, but also, like, Cramsey was out there before. He was out there before the comp.
Yep.
One of a few, just pulling at some hell slabs. So I think he's pretty keen to, and he's always done well. He got second here last year, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, he loves his wave, and he's frothing out. Here's Mick Daly doing a big roll. Did he make it?
I think he almost tried to sort of get that tail over and go for the backflip there.
Little slow one. Who else? Who's your pick for the comp?
Yeah, it's hard to go past, I guess, you guys as locals, like yourself, Ben, and even, you know, like Wes Fisher and things like that.
Yeah,
like,
Wes, for sure.
Wes is one of those guys that he surfs so good. And he's sort of like, he's quite underground, but when you actually see him in a comp in Arashi, he just shreds.
Yeah, he gets his game face on, doesn't he?
He does, yep.
Yeah.
100%. He's just one of those surfers that just goes to the next level as soon as he goes into comp. So yeah, but then again, you know, there's guys like Cramsey, Joe Clark in there.
Yeah, Joe Clark, he's done well out here before too.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's anyone's game though. You just got to get, oh, look at this little wedge coming in. Is this Josh Cleve? Look at that. That's the kind of one you want, isn't it?
Look at that, and he's going to try to bottom turn straight up.
Oh, so close. That doubled up underneath him.
You can see that that double up just caught him. He just nosedived it a little bit, but that would have been a nice score.
Was that the first innie done tonight?
That was the first innie. And look at that one just down the beach.
Yeah, it's starting to get pretty. I think it's really cleaning up now. Here we go. Pirate Life replay.
Punches through the lip.
Boom.
you can see that little that double up that just caught him as he was like making his way down, just sort of caught his nose, and yeah, that was the first inning. I think I reckon we're going to be in for some big waves, some big moves a little bit later. Once we sort of get into the pointy end, and once we start to see this tide drop, we'll see some big opportunities.
Definitely, yeah. That was nice. You could see that one just wedge up perfectly in the corner. That's what you want. I mean, a lot of the waves coming through got a bit too much wall today, so.
Yep.
Yeah, if you get the wedge, you're going to end up with a ramp on the inside somewhere. Here we go, Josh Cleve getting busy.
What are the waves that you're looking? So when you're out there, you're talking about the ones with a little bit of wall? Or
yeah, I reckon you just don't want any wall, pretty much.
You don't want any wall?
No, because if it's got wall, you're not going to come out. So you just want one that is A-framing, and then hopefully you're going to get enough speed to come through that wedge, and then as you come to the inside, it's going to double up or hit the inside bank, and you'll get a good move in. So, yeah, especially on a spot like this, if it's lined up at all, you're going to have trouble coming out, I think.
Yep.
Here we go, Mick Daly.
I just see him trying to negotiate that little inside double up section, and that's which we've probably seen a little bit more of now that tide's dropping. The riders are sort of pushing towards on that inside, so it's going to be probably a little bit different to sort of what we saw in the first few heats as we're coming down to the last few minutes. But Josh Cleve, he's from the get-go, a 5.33 of a big roll. It seems to be the trend of what we've seen this morning. The guys like yourself, and then who else was it? Noah Gilroy got
Noah Gilroy, yeah. So that's it. If you get a good move in straight off the bat, then you can sort of build on your scores, you know.
Yep.
So it gives you that little bit of confidence and being able to be a bit more picky with your waves.
Yeah, 100%.
I tell you what, I had one of those Pirate Life beers last night. It was quite good.
They're delicious, aren't they?
Oh, delightful.
They are
bit moreish.
Bit moreish. Yeah. So yeah, big thanks to Pirate Life, South Australian beer company, and they've just gone from leaps and bounds. They have just grown so much back home, and I'm not too sure if you guys have been exposed to the Pirate Life side on the East Coast, but
I'm keen. I'm in now.
They pack some punch, don't they?
Yeah. It takes a couple, and you're like, ooh, feel good.
So thanks to the guys of Pirate Life for obviously supporting us for the ABA tour, and that was just in the background. You just heard the buzzer for the end of heat number 3 for round number 1. So next up, this is going to be a bit of an interesting one, as we'll kick things off probably just right after a bit of a break here. We are watching the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro presented by NMD.
Now hold up, check the sound, flip the switch.
Okay, welcome back to the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro presented by NMD. You are currently watching the start of heat number 4. Wes Fisher in the red, Michael Perrin in the white, Paolo Flowery in the yellow, and Andrew Hurton in the blue. My name's Dylan Beach. You are watching the some pumping conditions. I've got Toby Player right next to me, owner of Bodyboard King, who are proud sponsors of the Northern Beaches Pro. And we can just see a little replay here straight off the bat. Oh, driving through. just unfortunately just getting shut down on the end. That was Paolo Fleury. I don't know much about Paolo.
Me neither, but yeah, that was a sick wave. Nice one to start off with. There we go, white paddling. I'll get double header here.
Yeah, Mickey Perrin. Oh, solid section. You can just see him, just a little lepo on the end there, and another little wave for Andrew Hurton, who we just might try to catch a replay. Here's a little flurry of waves. What you can't see on the replay is...
Oh, that was a nice little reverse too.
Yeah, that's Wes Fisher. Now, he was one of the guys we were just talking about before that might be, I guess, one of my tips for getting pretty far. That's Michael Perrin. You can see...
Just not quite getting inverted, but a little air there. That was pretty cool. And then we got Andrew Hurton, a little barrel, and then bang, throws an innie too. So just that was on the same wave actually. So there was one on the first wedge, one on the second wedge. So that shows you sort of how this wave works.
Flurry of waves as well. Like, it's been a bit of a trend. We've just seen heaps of waves off the start. It goes a little bit quieter, and then it sort of just settles down from there.
Big time. But you can see there, it's the way the conditions are settling down a little bit, which is opening up more windows, so more moves coming through. So I'm really hoping, it's going to get better and better, and we're going to see some high performance bodyboarding going on.
Yeah, for sure. And looking into, I guess, later in this afternoon and tomorrow, you're talking about that swell just going a little bit more east.
Yep, touch more east and probably drop back on off a bit, so that's good. And then as the tide, it's low, 130 low, isn't it?
Yep.
So yeah, we've still got a way to go. And then like that, as the tide gets lower, it kind of stops the rip a bit more sometimes too. So that should help the competitors get a few more.
Is it hugely different between the tides? Like, is the high tide, like when you guys come for a surf, do you pretty much just pick that sort of?
Yeah, it's pretty
low?
The reason why it's better here on low mainly is because you get a deep gutter on the inside here, but also the wedge comes off better off the rocks, so more rocky exposed, more wedge. So when that happens, you just get a lot more waves. So usually this is going to be good. You usually serve at the 2 hours either side of the low.
Yep.
Which is what we're going for today. That's why we're running a bit later today, and also holding on for tomorrow for this later rounds. So yeah, I think that probably works the same with most wedges. At nights, is that the same sort of vibe, or?
Mate, nights is a little bit of a fickle beast. Here we go,
Michael Perrin.
Perrin off a beautiful looking wave. He's going to try to get up to the lip, and he pushes a big roll. Now that was sort of, I guess, what we were hoping to see as that tide, and he does ride out. You can sort of see his head poking through.
There you go, makes it.
So that's going to be a good little wave for him. You can see Wes Fisher's first wave of 5.33. All of the riders getting a first score under the belt, and Mickey Perrin, who's one of the nicest guys I think on tour, is so friendly. And he's been backing the ABA Tour, competing and travelling for the last few years since I've known him. As you can see, this Pirate Life replay, beautiful line, and hits a little bit of a bit of whitewash there, and sort of he adjusted just in time. That's a little bit of a tongue twister to get up to the lip. So really well surfed from the man in white, Michael Perrin.
Yeah, he's got two good waves now. I mean. I don't know how highly that'll score that roll because it wasn't a clean landing. As we see here, Andrew Hurton in blue, whacking a bit of a reverse, coming off the back. So I think, as you can see with Andrew's first score of 1.57, that was a smaller inside wave. So obviously that was a little barrel to reverse off the foam and just didn't really get a score. So that shows they're not really scoring the smaller waves at all, are they?
Nah, 100%. And we've seen some solid surfing go down. We've seen some solid waves come through and definitely some big wedges. So, Ben was talking about a little bit earlier, and we were talking a bit about, the strategy side of things, just sitting and waiting for those bigger waves. Just because the judges, if you're catching one like you're seeing on the screen now, that there's so much more opportunity for big waves and bigger moves.
Yeah, and there's enough of them today, so it's not as if you're waiting for them.
Yeah, 100%.
But Andrew Hurton, he's a bit of a local fella. He's one of the guys that surfs a lot out here when it's pumping. So hopefully he's just getting a couple under his belt and he's going to wait it out. He's sort of sitting a bit wider on the second wedge as he paddles forward here.
We've seen some absolute beautiful waves come
look
through.
At that. Bit of a traveller. Just not coming out though, but yeah, that was nice. He's got the cleaner second wedge. He's all over it. Yeah.
Second wedge. That's what was being touted a little bit earlier. Was we watched this replay. So the ones, what you can't see at the moment on the webcast is we just see that replay is the guys in this heater are sitting a little bit further south. And so it almost looks a little bit cleaner than where, I guess, guys like yourself were surfing in the first heat.
Yeah.
But we've seen some absolute crackers come through through that second wedge. And I reckon these guys have seen them, and definitely a bit of a strategic.
Definitely. I mean, usually on the first wedge, it'll be a lot more dredgy. You get sort of that rip running through it. You get some absolute caverns out there, but usually the second wedge is a bit cleaner and a bit more user friendly.
Yep.
So it seems like there's definitely some nice ones coming through. I saw a really good one spit out there before. So yeah, they've definitely got their game plan on.
Yeah, 100%. And Michael Perrin's last wave coming in at a 5.83. Judges, as we talked about, are loving and rewarding those bigger moves. You know, there's so much opportunity out here. The swell just doesn't look like it's going to be backing off at all. You know, there's just going to be some big waves go down and some sick waves. And you can see Wes just having a look. Some of those ones that you're sort of you're half and ahhing about just turn out to be the best ones as well, don't they?
Yeah. Mate, I tell you what, this wave absolutely belts you when you paddle back out. Look at that thing. Just unloading. Doesn't mind throwing you straight to the bottom, I tell you.
Yeah. Well, we're watching in the adverts some incredible point of POV footage of, I think it was Ben in the Bodyboard King.
Oh yeah. There's one. He got the one out wedge, and then like some of the ones on the right at South Whaley. But yeah.
And that was recently, hey?
That was like 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago now. So yeah, that was a really good swell. Here we go. It's Wes Fisher. Boom, nice clean roll.
So he's holding on to a 5.33, and he's going to drop a nice score on that. And it's really clean. We've seen a lot of the guys sort of try to push through the lip. That one, the judges are going to love that clean as we watch the replay here. That really nice bottom turn and actually hitting the lip really clean. Riding out super smooth. That would be a nice little backup score for Wes Fisher. I remember, I've got a story about Wes actually. When he first sort of came to Australia, he was doing the ABA tour, which was back then the IBAA, I think it was, and came down to South Australia, and I was probably about 16 at the time, and Wes was living in his bodyboard bag, sleeping on the local beach, and I'm originally from Port Elliot, and we had a place right next door to Knights, and saw this guy just floating around with a backpack, sleeping in his bodyboard bag, and I was like, man, what are you doing? Like introduced himself and ended up sort of staying with us for the Knights Pro, and I think he got second in that year as well. So I had the opportunity to sort of surf a fair bit with Wes and get to know him a little bit, and every now and then I sort of catch up with him at events and things like that. So I've got a little bit of a soft spot for Wes, and
he's a very nice guy. That's that was like kind of a typical thing for the South Africans back in the day, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. He's still
doing that, like just traveling the world. And I remember Alistair Taylor had his he bought a sack of potatoes one Hawaii season and was camping and eating that in 2-minute noodles. So you know, that's just what they do. Yeah, they're just that keen. But no, Wes is a great guy. He's always got time. He's a funny guy and always got a smile on his face, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. You can see Michael Perrin. So his last wave, Wes, is a 5.93. So it puts him back into first position. We're about halfway through the heat. But some good scores, a 5.93 for Wes, a 5.83 for Michael Perrin off that last big roll. So definitely some good waves going down. As we see Ben Player just running down to take on his first round heat, and he's got a tough one. I think he's got the likes of Joe Clark and Jay Stone in his heat.
Whoa,
that's a tough one.
Stacked. Yep. Look out! I'm sure he's going to be affirming his territorial rights at his home break.
Yeah, you would expect him so. So this is
alpha male.
Alpha male. This is his bread and butter. Like left-hand wedges out of Whaley, from what you can see. See Joe Clark making his way down.
It's going to be a good one. Yeah. Very exciting. Here we go. We've got a red here.
Oh, a little check turn. Oh, you can see just through his board out, but a nice little check turn into the barrel, and he tries to punch through a roll. So just sort of, I guess, just trying to muck around and keep himself moving.
Looks like Wes Fisher took the lead with his that nice roll before. So he's got a 5.93, and we got Polo, nice roll.
in the springy. It's a bit ambitious.
Well, he's keen. Well, there's a lot of paddling. He wouldn't be cold, that's for sure.
That is true. The water is actually quite nice.
Yeah, the water's pretty warm.
Air temperature is a little bit frigid, but water, what, 22, 23 degrees?
Yeah, it's super warm, exactly. Yeah, springy's fine. I mean, the wind's a bit chilly, though. Wind chill factor's going to kick in.
And Michael Perrin having a look.
You can see he's kind of battling that rip in the corner there.
Talking about, I guess, Alistair Taylor and, you know, the Sappers and Hawaii and things like that, probably just going back on to just trying to pick your brain. Do you have any sort of real memorable heats that you can sort of think of off the top of your head that sort of really stick out?
Just trying to think.
Because, you know, there's... Oh, you can see Michael Perrin just... He's done very well to get that far. But there was the Tahiti comp and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's been numerous ones. Yeah, Tahiti comp, some of the Shark Island comps, like that Shark Island probably 2001 with the monster year. There's Michael Perrin in the corner and Andrew Herden on the second wedge.
Seen that a few times.
Both those guys got absolutely done. Let's have a look at those replays. I want to see that again. That's carnage.
You can hear the beach commentator probably online saying that was a heavy drop, so we'll get a replay.
Come on, Pirate Life, we want to see this replay, please. Here we go. There's Andrew Herden on the second wedge.
Trying to punch through.
Trying to eject. It's very hard to do that, though, and that was cool. Lovely. Yeah, that was, you know, back-to-back. There's a lot of waves being ridden in this heat.
Yep.
So, back to the memorable heats. Yeah, Shark Island 2001.
Was that the year that Kingy...
Yeah, it was the year Kingy won, but I remember just getting an absolute smoker in that, and like 10-pointer, and like probably the best wave I've ever had on comp.
So that stands out in your mind still? Like you remember taking off on that wave?
Oh yeah, I remember that wave because I remember taking off on it, and it's like it was a cover of Bodyboarding and I think Double Page and Rippies. But
I think I remember. That
like as I took off, I was on the Nugget goes to me, "How's the wedge on this one?" And I was like, if he's saying that, it must be pretty damn good because I have no idea what I'm doing out there. Yeah. And then so I took off on the wedge, coming across, and I was seeing the whitewash coming down. It actually broke out past the reef on surge. And I've just gone, oh no, here we go. I'm just going to get flogged like every other. And then the whitewash backed off. Here we go, Andrew Hedden on this side. Oh. And backdoored this absolute beastmaster and come flying out the end. And everyone's cheering, yeah. that was probably, that was up there. I've never really won any big comps though, so there's not too many memories.
I don't know, it's amazing to hear like those ones that like stick in your mind. Because
yeah.
I was actually talking about this with some mates the other day. We were surfing these really, really good waves at home, and we were driving home. It's about an 8-hour drive back home, and we were saying how good it was. And then someone said, like, what was the best wave of that session? And literally 45 minutes after surfing pumping waves, you can't actually really remember those specific waves.
They kind of blur into each other, don't they? It's like that, you know what? Like on those sessions when you're just getting absolutely pitted off your head, they just blur, and you just go. You can't remember one or two, maybe.
Exactly.
It's like, you know, we were talking about the footage before on the ads, and those days that was like that. You know, it was just blurring and blurring. And actually, the only way I could sort of remember was to go back through the GoPro footage, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that one. I was like,
it's so good. I guess talking about that one at Shark Island, when you just get one of those waves that, like, I guess. Your heart's in your mouth, or your stomach's in your mouth, and you're just going, what's going on?
Well, Shark Island's that way because, you know, you take off on the wedge, you take off on this 3-foot wedge, and you're going, what is it going to do? And you see the crowd, like, you know, 100 metres away, and they're all sitting there just going, what's going to happen? It's like, you know, the Romans and feeding the Christians to the Lions or something. It's pretty heavy.
Almost taking 3 breaths, you know. The first breath, I'm not going to make this one. Take the breath, and then you're still making it, and you take another breath.
People just want to see carnage. They're like, yes, he's going to get pumped. Like they want to see you get pumped. Like they all going, yep. So if you come out, you've won and they've lost, kind of thing. They want to see you get flogged.
And there's
Ben. There's my little son on the right there too.
Oh, there you go, kicking the soccer ball.
So he's gone down to support him, the old Uncle Ben.
That's epic to see.
Yeah, it's you know, that's what's good about this comp is just seeing people getting pumped. I love it. Who doesn't?
The local community sort of getting around it and sort of just jumping on board, and all the local riders like yourselves and Ben, all the way through to the Sappers and the young guys as well, sort of getting on board.
Yeah, it's good. Good support from everybody, and you know, there's a lot of people that put in a lot of time and effort for these comps.
Yep.
So it's all coming together.
Yeah, that's a perfect, I think, a leeway. Just, I guess, big hats off to the guys at the ABA Tour. A lot of, as we see this one, this is Wes Fisher driving through, beautiful clean roll. And he does ride through. A lot of the guys, I guess, don't see the, the behind the scenes. Everything from getting a parking permit from the local council takes time. Forecasting swell from 10 days out to make a call. Like, a lot of the guys just don't realise the effort that goes into sort of just running something like this and getting a webcast up and running like that is just
it's
huge
a whole lot of stuff going on, So all systems go and it's all come together.
Yep.
One thing I was going to mention too is at Bodyboard King we've got a couple of promo codes for the comp. So if you want to score some epic discounts, we got one for NMD bodyboards in particular, which is NMD 15.
I'm going to write this down actually in my phone.
You use that code and you get 15% off all NMD boards, including ones that are already on sale. So grab yourself a bargain. And on top of that, we also got the new NMD band player Wi-Fi 2.0 Trinity concave boards.
That's a mouthful.
I know. But it's like, I don't know if you've seen these boards with absolute weapons. It looks like they just came out of space from a UFO or something. So yeah, we got a limited run of those. I think we got 8 or something. So they're not on sale because they're pre-release. They're dropping on the June the 17th. So if you want one of those, you could be the first in Australia or all the world to own one. And then on top of that, we've got one more code, which is ABA 15, which applies to any purchase across the Bodyboard King shop.
Amazing. We've got one of those Wi-Fi boards actually just off the side of the camera. We're going to see if we can grab one just to show and run through the boards and just sort of, I guess, you're talking about these pre-releases.
Yeah, I don't know if we can get a camera angle to us.
Yeah,
here we go.
Hello to the guys. So this is the webcam. So this is what, is this what sort of Ben is riding? This is, I guess, the newest of the new and what?
Yeah, this is what Ben's riding today. So as you can see, it's got Trinity concave here.
So just what I guess from us, what is the Trinity concave? What does that do? What does it look like?
Trinity concave, so it's here we go. Trinity concave, just a Trinity concave that runs through the tail of the board. So what it does is it just creates a vacuum and it shoots all the water out the back. So I've got a quad concave. I find that goes amazing. So you really notice the difference.
Yep.
Lets you hold a higher line and you get a lot more speed. So I haven't ridden this one as yet, but we'll soon see because Ben's in next heat. We'll see exactly how it goes.
Yeah, I've actually got one of the quad concaves as well myself.
Yeah.
And you notice that when you're actually drawing a bottom turn, how quickly it engages.
Yeah. And
the speed you generate off that, they just fly.
It's amazing. Yeah, you do notice, and a lot of time, what I noticed the first time I rode it is I was riding the wave, and I just noticed that there was no water coming off the side of the board.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And even when you let go of your rail, it just flows all the water out the back, so that just creates more speed.
Yep.
And I always found, do you find you get a higher line on the wave too when you're in the barrel? So you sort of make those deeper barrels, and
I don't know, mate. It's interesting when we surf it at my local wave nights. It's not, I guess, you're not drawing down the line. You're sort of on the wedge, you're kicking, and then you're straight up, really.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. Yeah. I was surfing a wave back home not last weekend, the weekend before. That is a reef break that you are drawing, you're bottom turning, you're engaging straight into the barrel, and then it's basically a barrel the whole way through to the end bowl. And that was the first time I actually felt how quickly it engaged.
Yeah.
And some of the waves, the barrels I sort of made, normally I just wouldn't have made them. So
yeah. Exactly, yeah. That's the beauty of it, yeah.
Yeah, talking about, I guess, being a little bit higher, it's probably, you can sort of skip over those foam balls and those shockies and sort of get yourself through a little bit.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really works. So there's a lot of, they're the innovators, NMD, of the product. There's a lot of imitators, but they're sort of the ones. Nick Meseritz, especially, he's the guru behind it all. Perfect. And he works closer with Ben to perfect his product.
Nah, sounds good. I'm definitely going to pick your brain a little bit more. We have just rounded out that last heat, and we will go to a break, and we'll be back very, very shortly. G'day, welcome back to the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro presented by NMD. My name is Dylan Beach. You are watching some pumping conditions, and right next to me is the man, the myth, the legend, Benny Oborn.
Hey Dylan.
Well, I pumped you up, mate. You gotta really bring that energy here.
I wasn't prepared for that kind of welcome. I was a bit shocked, but mate, it's good to be here. Obviously, last event for the season. Things got stripped back a little bit, unfortunately, due to pulling the pin on at nights. But you know what? It's clearly making up for it here.
Mate, we've just replaced one left wedge with another left wedge, really.
Yeah.
Pumping.
Mate, there's a battle of the left wedges to a degree. But, mate, look, obviously I love coming up to the northern beaches. I hate the traffic, but the lifestyle and coffee prices are great. One of the most livable and affordable cities in the world, no doubt, I'm sure.
Oh, not a person in sight, really, on the roads or around the urban sprawl at all. So we love it here in Sydney.
Peak hour traffic at 3 a.m. But, mate, look, at the end of the day...
Oh, hold the phone. Sorry, Benny. We'll just get back to peak hour traffic because we just saw probably the biggest invert of the morning from Ben Player. Now, this is going to be one of those cracking heats that don't rarely come through into round number one. Joe Clark, Ben Player, and Jay Stone. Look at this thing.
As we check it out on the Pirate Life replay. Super technical, super clean. Landed in the flats, came out the front. No problems.
So, interesting to hear, because we were talking about this when Ben was... Oh, I love that invert. I love his invert style. We were talking about with Ben just kicking things off real quick. Because his brother Toby just went to town within the first 10 seconds of his heat, pretty much, and basically won his heat within 15, within, I guess, 5 minutes. And Ben Players just dropped a 7.83, highest single wave score so far, with a big invert. So following, I guess, what he was talking about in his, his tips to the other riders, basically just putting them into practice.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for those guys, I think there's a bit of local pride on the line.
For sure.
I'm sure there was a few butterflies this morning when those guys got here. Not to say that these conditions aren't, prime for them, but at the same time, they got a bit of a reputation to withhold. And
3 world champions, three world championships under his belt, and
yep. And I mean, Tobes is no stranger to competition either. They're stalwarts and pioneers of surfing here at Whaley. So like I said, was it a 7.83?
7.83. But do you know what conditions like this do as well? It's when it's a little bit challenging like this. Every rider in these events can do moves, and they can actually hit sections properly and like ride a wave really, really well. So when you get challenging conditions like this, Ben, and it's the waves are a little bit shifty, but there's definitely size and a little bit of power. It brings everyone up to the same sort of level. So it's really who gets that wave will sort of will move on through. And Ben on that one just got the wave and he just dominated it. And so it's really going to be who gets those waves. And Ben was talking about earlier when he was commentating earlier in the round. Basically, his strategy is just to wait for the ones that come through, not try to grovel or sort of try to, do something that off a wave that isn't there. He was really just going to wait for those good ones. And now he's got a 7.83. He's pretty much just going to wait for the 10.
That's I'd be pretty happy with myself if I could start any heat with a 7.83.
Mate, my free surf out there this morning, I was dropping 1.03s, 0.82s. I wasn't getting anything over 2.
If that's what you're putting on the board, we won't talk about my talents, particularly in heavy lefts. But grew up in a land of rights. But mate, it's good to see you again. Obviously, completely disheartened not to be in each other's company down in South Oz.
Yeah, mate. And you know what? I think South Oz has just been one of those great events throughout the years, and it's. It is nice. It's just one of those natural amphitheatres that the waves are so good when they're good, and it's just a perfect natural amphitheatre for bodyboarding. But look, when push comes to shove, you sort of have to make an event feasible, and you read a lot of stuff online and all that sort of jazz, and here, there, and everywhere. But the reality is, if we can't run a feasible event, it's probably better to sort of put all of the efforts and all of the focus onto making a really good Northern Beaches event.
Absolutely. And I mean, you're spot on the money. There's so many people out there.
Oh, who's that? Joe Clark.
Joe locking in a first. Did he come in stuck there?
A little bit quick. It's got to be a little bit. He's got to maybe hold on for a little bit longer for the next few heats.
I tell you what. These are great conditions for Joe as well. He prefers left.
He does.
You see him? Oh, yeah, actually just got a bit of backwash as he landed there, as you can see from the Pirate Life Brewing live replay. But, yeah, no, I mean, in a perfect world, yeah, we would have run 3 events, but look, a lot of people don't understand the dynamic, the logistics, the operations, and most importantly, the cost that is involved with running these events, even more so now that we've committed to running webcasts this season. And, mate, if we can't fund the events, we can't run the events.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess, to just say it once and sort of clear the air for everyone listening, and, that there was the perception that there was a last-minute rush for sponsorship, and that's completely not true.
No, not at all.
We were basically, I know for a fact that we were a part of doing applications back in August last year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, most of our events are, pre-planned 6 to 12 months in advance.
Yeah,
so,
exactly right.
Look, it was unfortunate. We had some, some really great relationships with a number of, I guess, business partners, but it just didn't pan out, and that's just the way it is. And we hold no grudges.
Exactly, that's
just the way it is.
The way the cookie crumbles sometimes, and we're looking at pumping conditions right now. We see Ben play on a beautiful. Oh, you can sort of just see him just get caught up a little bit. What we've got right now is what we should be focusing on, because at the end of the day, we will be crowning champions.
Absolutely.
So, tomorrow in pumping waves. We've got an incredible webcast up for you. I apologise for the nasally voice every now and then, which is mine. But look at these waves. Jay Stone just tucking into the pit, and he's gonna see a little section where he can finish the wave off with a nice little roll. This is what is
super tidy combo there from Jay for his first wave. Obviously, without a doubt, that's going to push Joe back into 3rd place. But look, mate, we move forward. To speak on the positive notes, I guess with the tour, we've got some really great kind of business partners and supporters. We have a look at this replay again. Kind of holds the line, puts the brakes on as he waits for that little end section. Nice little tidy roll. But mate, obviously, Tobes from Bodyboard King has been one of our greatest supporters since we started the ABA Tour 6 years ago. And Mez and Benny from NMD Board Co. obviously more than happy to jump on board for this one. But at the same time, mate, at the back end of the business, really stoked to have created some partnerships with Gone Bodyboarding, which is a clothing company based out of Victoria. They're a new company. Just actually launched their new website. They've got some great promo codes running over this weekend, as a matter of fact. So there's a 10% discount off all their gear. So if you just jump onto their Facebook page or website, which is gonebodyboarding.com, and enter the code ABA10, mate, you scam yourself 10% off. So, mate, they've got, gosh, I know, about 50 different T-shirt designs. Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff.
Perfect for the end of the financial year sort of tax write-off.
Yeah.
And you see Joe, a nice combo, double roll. He's definitely seen Ben's first wave dropping a 7.83, and Joey just needing to, sort of, I guess, move up a gear. And, I think it's coming through at a 4.17 from what I'm hearing from the judges, but we'll wait for those scores to trickle on through from the judges' perspective. And what a great webcast. We've got live scoring halfway through the heat in round number 1 of the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro. And we are just looking at pumping waves right now, and we've just seeing Jay Stone just, I guess, looking for a little bit of a redirection. He's going to run towards the rocks and try to catch into that rip, which Benny Player and Tobes were talking about a little bit before. And we've got 9.5 minutes remaining, coming up in the next heat. we will sort of slowly be rounding out round number 1. But in the next heat, we've got Daniel Lation from Queensland, Stuart Knox, and Doug Smith from New South Wales. So that's going to be a nice little heat. But this is looking at the heat schedule round number 1. This was sort of the one that I touted as probably the best heat of the round. Benny Player is in the white. Joe Clark, who's previous Aussie Tour champion, and Jay Stone, a young gun who has scores haven't rolled on through yet, but who's sort of surfing quite well as well.
And also presented by NMD. You're sitting at Whale Beach if you don't know where you are.
If you can hear the beach commentators in the background, you are of course watching the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro presented by NMD. Huge thanks to the Toby and to NMD, who just stalwart sponsors and supporters of the industry, and incredible to see, you know, Ben Player actually riding some of the most newest and I guess innovative technologies I guess that have come out in a little while. We haven't seen too much sort of you know, design change or anything like that in the bodyboard in a long time. So epic to see those guys sort of moving on forward and innovating sort of the next steps of the industry. So time slowly ticking down, 7 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. If you do want to sort of keep up to date of what's happening and who's in the next heat, do download the Stacked app. So hop onto your iTunes or Android app store and search Stacked app. You can follow the heat by heat. You can follow the riders' profiles. You can see the breakdown of what the judges are doing and what they're giving, judge by judge, and you can actually follow the event from a different perspective as well if you're interested in that. And you can see Joe Clark up and riding in the red. He's trying to find something on the inside and just pushes through. Not much sort of happening for him. And look at these sets just rolling on through. That one's spitting its guts out in the end.
One scoring ride. You need a second one of a 4.5 to get through to.
This is BP up and riding on. This is his replay. A little cut, a little check turn cutback, and sort of not really seeing much out of that. It will help his backup situation, but look at those ones coming through. Second wedge. So BP, 3-time world champion and local legend at the event. Definitely looking to solidify his spot here at Whaley. This is, as you were saying earlier in the heat, his home wave and one of those, I don't know, one of these events that he just always wants to see. I guess the trophy for it back over his house.
In white, we've got Stuart Knox. In yellow, Doug Smith. Thanks for pitching up, Doug. I was worried about you there for a second. Thumbs up from the beach. And we've got in blue.
So just checking in online, if you are looking to communicate with us and engage with us here at the event, do jump onto the Facebook page and leave a comment. We'll sort of scroll through them a little bit throughout the day, and we'll sort of give a bit of a shout out. So going through them, big Justin Becker, probably one of the most involved and engaged and committed bodyboarders in Australia. G'day, Justin. Hope you're enjoying the feed, guys. Doug Soller, big hello to you. If you sort of let us know where you're watching from, and if you have any questions for the riders that are coming through, we'll have a whole range of different riders from around Australia stopping in at the commentary booth throughout the day. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions, and we'll definitely put it forward to the guys in the commentary booth, and keep that conversation flowing and sort of see if we can get some little juicy nitbits from some of the world's best bodyboarders. So counting down under the 5 minutes. Joe Clark scores just taking a little while to filter on through. But Benny Player is definitely in first position. Joe Clark is definitely in second, and Jay Stone in the yellow is needing a 6.1, as you may have heard on the beach side. And look at this thing from Joe. This is the first time we've sort of seen a sideways wedge, and Joe up and riding, big roll, heavy landing. That would have hurt, but Joey Clark, can't wait to see a replay on that one. That was a solid roll, and that would have definitely been up there in one of the top scores. Let's look at this pirate rifle replay. Look at that landing. You can just see himself almost extending his arms. Oh, and he just extended his arms and almost wasn't just wearing, he just wasn't expecting so much of a, I guess, projection off the lip. That would have been a tough one to land. But Joey Clark going big. That's kind of hopefully a sign of things to come with these lower tide coming through in a few hours' time. We'll see a few more of those left wedges coming through. You can see Ben Player earlier in the rounds when we had him into the commentary booth, just talking about sort of, I guess, his strategy and patience. You know, he's locked in a 7.83, big invert. It was probably the move of the round so far, and he was basically just talking about once he's hit a big move and got a solid score, he's just going to wait. You know, he's in first priority. He's going to wait. He knows the waves that are out there. Conditions are improving, and he needs to basically get a big score to solidify a first spot. So he's not looking for anything small or anything sort of mid-range. He's going to go big and go hard. And if he can get a wave like what Joe's got, and sort of see what we'll see, some definitely some fireworks from the likes of BP, three-time world champion, local legend, and proud supporter of this event through NMD Bodyboarders. Looking through the comments on the Facebook page, Brazzy, Noah, oh Noah. That just sums up that situation so well. Noah, in the previous heat, sitting on a 7.83. All he needed was a 1.83 backup to move into first position, but Mother Nature just, unfortunately, not sort of producing anything for him, and it literally just wound down the seconds. And Noah, with the highest single heat score of his highest single wave score of the heat, basically he just couldn't get a backup. He was looking for something to come his way, but nothing came through. So Brazzy, or Brazzy, I can feel you on that one, mate. It was a tough one to watch. But we're coming down to a minute 30. Ben Player just hands down, just holding down his local knowledge down here, and 7.83 big invert to kick things off literally in the first couple of minutes of the heat. Joe Clark in second position and Jay Stone in third, and that's the same as priority as well. Ben Player is holding down priority. He's probably going to wind down the clock here unless something absolutely amazing comes through the corner, and then he'll look for those 10s that we was talking about a little bit earlier in the heat.
In fourth place, Jay Stone. You need to replace your 1.33. You need a 6.1.
You can see BP having a look at this one. A little inside grinder, and he's got 40 seconds to go. He's got a little bit of a bowl, and it's just going to nice little tidy reverse bash off the top. So that's going to be interesting. Now Joe Clark is in second position. He had priority there, and he just takes off in this wave. He needed a mid-6 score. I don't know if that's going to sort of hit that, as we see this big set washing through the lineup. Some solid 6-foot sets coming through here at Whaley. But we have seen conditions just improve immensely here at the New South Wales, the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pros. See a replay of Joe Clark. He's making his way in. This is a replay of Ben's. You can sort of see what he was talking about a little bit before. You know, that wedge just sunk. A little bit of a bowl. And looks like it was enough to get him through. Ben Player, and looking at riding that NMD Wi-Fi looks really interesting. You are, of course, watching the event. This is the final stop of the ABA Pro Tour. We'll be right back just after this break. Okay, welcome back to the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro, presented by NMD Bodyboards. There was just a little bit of a delay in going back to the live commentary, just because I was listening out for the beach updates of score, and if you're following on the Stacked app, you would have just seen the scores just come through for Joe Clark. It was enough to push him through into first position and knock Ben Player out of first. So still BP and Joey Clark moving on into round number 2. But interesting to see, you know, Ben Player just couldn't get that backup score. And Joe Clark just kept a little bit busy, you know, on the inside and did a few big rolls, and was enough to move him into first position right on the buzzer beater. So, yeah, quite an interesting little score there. Joe Clark, of course, previous ABA Tour champion. And you know, is pretty amazing round 1 heat, really. Multiple world champion and Australian tour champions all in one heat. It was absolutely sick one to watch. Okay, so this heat we are currently watching is heat number 6. Daniel Lation in the red rash vest. We'll just update the scores on screen when we get a chance. Stuart Knox in the white and Doug Smith in the yellow. Now, we've seen a few little waves go through in the ad break of Doug Smith. Real late drop into a heavy section. And those scores will just be trickling on through, but unfortunately he didn't make it, but it was a sick wave. Conditions cleaning up quite nicely and very quick. This heat will round out the first round of Pro Men's. Doug Smith in the yellow, and Stuart Knox in the white, and Daniel Lation in the red. And we've also got a Declan Clough, who is a last-minute entry in the blue. So Declan is joining the gentleman in the water. This is, of course, round number 1 of the Pro Men's. Heat 6 of 6, and we'll be moving on through probably until later on this afternoon here for the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro. We are just trying to make the most of the pumping conditions we've got on hand. This big southerly swell, favourable winds, and Whaley left is just getting better and better each hour. So yeah, really good to see and finish 2019 on a big high for the ABA Tour. Lachlan Cramsey, of course, defending champion, and you know, he did win the D-Bar Pro only a few months ago, so he's currently championship leader. He's an absolute formidable force in the Australian competitive scene. So we'll hopefully get Lockie Cramsey into the competitive booth, into the commentary booth a little bit later, and we can sort of pick his brains. I found out some interesting nitbits about Lockie Cramsey last night that I can't wait to share with you wider audience. So a bit of a slower start to the heat compared to previous heats. Still only no scores coming through just yet. Or one score, 1.33 for Doug Smith's late drop into a bit of a foamy one. But this time last heat we were watching Ben Player drop 7.83s with big inverts and things like that. So a little bit of a slower start compared to what we've seen throughout the morning. So my name is Dylan Beach. I'm taking you through the next few days of the webcast here at the event. Just took a little hot flight from from Adelaide, South Australia, and it is absolutely freezing at home. So it's so nice to be up in the warm waters, 22, 23 degrees here up on the northern beaches, and an absolute pleasure to bring this live feed. And we'll be crowning some champions here at the end of the event. So basically it's going to come down to the wire. We've got a few riders in contention, and then a few riders the likes of BP and Tobes and, you know, the South Africans and the local boys who wouldn't mind throwing a little bit of a spanner in the works and seeing if they can sort of bring down some big players in terms of the overall champion championship race. But Joey Clark doing well to keep his name in the ring, taking out Ben Player in his last heat in a last-ditch effort. So congratulations to Joe, but it's going to be very interesting once we start to move into the latter rounds. We start to go into the seeded riders. So basically the guys that are up there into, oh, you can see a big wave and someone trying to hold on. So the riders basically that you're entering that hold the seeded positions are Liam Lucas, who will be in heat round two. Lachlan Cramsey will be the seeded rider into round two, heat two. Hayato and Enkido, so the Japanese rider who just puts on an absolute tear. He's in heat three, and Silas Ganciar, the man from the Gold Coast, will be the seeded rider in heat number four. So some, when you're putting up the guys of like Ben Player and Joe Clark into those mix, and Doug Smith, Wes Fisher, Noah Gill, Liam Flanagan, Toby Player. These are sort of the riders that will be looking to shake things up as we go into the later rounds, because it's anyone's game in conditions like this. We've seen some unpredictable waves come through and some big sort of solid sets coming down, and some waves like this which look incredibly clean. That is Doug Smith. Beautiful wave. Big roll. Lands it clean. Can't wait to see the replay on that one, but that's going to be a big score from the man in yellow and from Port Macquarie, Doug Smith. That was a very clean wave. Super nice little bottom turn scoop as we look at this one. Look at the shape of that, and then big roll, super loopy. The hair flaring in underneath him. Sick wave. So we'll wait for scores to come through that. But Doug Smith looks like he's going to come into the top position. Scores coming through 8.67. So that's actually the highest single wave score of the morning so far. That's an 8.67 for man in yellow. Judges loving the barrel, loving the big commitment to the air, and riding out super cleanly. So Doug Smith holding down first position. Declan in the blue is in second. He's a 3.67. Daniel Lation and Stuart Knox yet to really sort of get their campaign off and running. So very interesting to see that. The judges really rewarding that. There was a nice scoop into a barrel. Wasn't the longest barrel, wasn't super deep, but came out with a really loopy roll. So it'd be interesting. I wonder if the guys in the next round were sort of watching that one through, because that's what the judges are really looking for. They're looking for those big sort of single moves, but if you can combo it up with a nice little barrel or sort of another solid air. As we look at this one, wasn't super deep, but definitely a little bit of vision, and that roll is so clean and landed heavy as well. So that was epic to see from Doug Smith, and being rewarded. And this is Daniel Lation. Not a huge wave. It just taps the little bit of a whitewash there. Definitely looking for something a little bit bigger for the next half of the heat as we count down into the 10 minute, under the 9 minute mark, sorry. Of course, a big thanks to Toby Player and NMD, as well as our tour sponsors, Limited Edition, who jumped on board as the official Fin sponsor for the year, and Pirate Life Brewery, so a local craft brewery in South Australia, and coming on board to sponsor the replays and helping keep us a little bit hydrated throughout the post-evening events, which is very, very handy. Gone Bodyboard clothing as well. If you jump online, they have a number of discount codes throughout the weekend. So www.gonebodyboarding.com. Enter out the discount codes. If you jump onto their Facebook page, all the details are there. And of course, yeah, Toby, if you jump onto the Bodyboard King, Toby set up some discount codes there. So 15% off for all NMD products. NMD 15. There's ABA Tour 15, so, you know, whilst you're watching the thing, if you open up another tab and want to do a little bit of online shopping, you can snag yourself a few little discounts on the way through. So a few sets just coming on through. You can see those wedges just making their way across on the left side of your screen. That's the what we're hoping to see with that lower tide. Those wedges just push across a little bit. As Ben was saying, it's sort of the lower tide hits that inside ledge a little bit better, and it sort of draws off, and makes a big A-frame. So sort of we'll see those wedges coming through a little bit more consistently. So we're seeing right on your screen there a little inside drain pipe. Just didn't see it on the screen there, but live footage just saw a big foam ball just come on through and explode out in front of the competitors. But interesting to see Doug Smith, 8.67 and 1.33, surfing a very, very good heat with 7.5 minutes remaining. We'll very interesting way to finish off the round of the Pro Men's. This is, of course, round number 1 of the Pro Men's. After this heat, we'll just be going on hold whilst we get into the next round. We've got Women's Masters and round 2 of the Pro Men's scheduled up for today, and then looking into the forecast, we'll see some absolute cracking morning and afternoon on the cards for Sunday. So we'll roll into final state on Sunday and be crowning some champions and of the tour and of course the actual event itself. So yeah, big few days of bodyboarding, big few days on the webcast. Do not go anywhere. We will be keeping you in tune and up to date, bringing you all the live action throughout the weekend. So you can see Stuart Cox is sitting down on the southern end of your screen, which is the right-hand side. You can see Doug Smith on the left-hand side of your screen. So that's the northern end. So that's throughout the morning where we've seen those big wedges come through. Stuart, who is sitting a little bit further south, is where we've seen those unridden gems go through. So I guess a bit of a different in tactic right now. We just see that pullback screen. And the beautiful sailing boat just battling some solid swell as it goes through. This is one of the most pristine areas of Australia, the beautiful northern beaches. As Ben was talking about, it's a cosmopolitan city, but it kind of feels like a little country town. So it's super sick to see, and beautiful to be up here in this stunning part of the world. So about 5 minutes to go. Declan in second position, second, third, and fourth, all super close. It doesn't really, there's not much between the three riders. So Doug Smith is just solidifying first position, but the second spot, which actually does progress through, is wide open, as you can see. Stuart on a little insider, and he's got to push through. Just gets clipped by the wash there as he tries to extend that invert, but almost a little bit late. He looks like he's just going to come in. I don't know if he's going to do a little bit of a push through the rip and to paddle back out, but might be trying to conserve a little bit of energy. So 5 minutes remaining. So you can see Doug Smith playing the patient game, and definitely, look at that. That is brave. We are looking at a solid south swell, and these guys are literally just going straight through it. Maybe training for the Sydney to Hobart. And I'm sure you were a little bit over just me talking by myself as we were just trying to work through a little bit of logistics. So I've just done a few hand signals and got a little special guest into the commentary side of things. And welcome to Lockie Cramsey. Hey, mate.
Hello, how you doing?
Well, I'm just going to turn up your microphone there. How you going?
I'm very good, thanks.
There we
and
go.
How are you, mate?
Ticking along.
That's okay.
Yeah, enjoying it. It's kind of, we surfed a little bit earlier this morning before the event kicked off.
Yeah.
Conditions are completely changed, hey?
They have changed heaps with this dropping tide. It just looks super heavy out there at the moment.
It does.
But there is a couple of diamonds in the rough, I guess you'd call it. There's some good wedges coming through, but there's also some heavy closeouts and couple of beatings.
Yeah, mate, I
reckon.
saw you get a few this morning, a few
Yeah.
big wedges on
Yeah.
closeouts.
Couple of wake-up calls.
Couple of wake-up calls pre-event.
Yeah.
Always nice to stretch the back out a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's a great stretch for the back, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, definitely a few diamonds in the rough. We've seen, I'm not too sure if you've been watching this heat, but Dougie Smith, an 8.67 with an absolute stoinker of a wave.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was a great wave too. It just came in really nice, and he pretty much read the wave perfectly, and
Yep.
yeah, he got the score for it. So there's the replay there.
Yeah, how's the hair flaring?
Yeah, his long hair.
Do you reckon the judges threw a few extra points for finesse and
You
flair?
have to, yeah. Yeah, but no, that was awesome. That was really good of Doug. So.
Cool, mate. So what have you been up to lately? Give us a bit of a rundown of your last few months since the D-Bar comp.
What have I been doing,
Bit
mate?
of a flat spell on the Sunshine Coast, eh?
Yeah, Sunny Coast has been quite small and flat, and we've had the offshore winds, which is good, but that's kind of made me go into, I guess, fishing mode for me.
Yeah?
I've been getting into fishing.
Been slaying some big fish?
I wouldn't say that, no. No, I wish I was, but yeah, I've been getting a bit of fish and just enjoying it. The water's super nice at the moment. Yeah, like I said, the winds are really nice there. Yeah, so it's been great, and also lifeguarding on the beaches. So basically, just living on the beach, you could say.
Yeah, just no waves, unfortunately.
Yeah, no waves, no waves. That's right.
How do you go from going absolutely zero surfing? Because you were saying last night when we were hanging out, that you've surfed twice since D-Bar?
Yeah, I think twice, maybe 3 times. It's been
How do you sort of get back into gear? As we see Dougie Smith, nice little carving reverse, and he's going to pop off a little
another
reverse bash.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, super smooth, Dougie. So really good style there. But yeah, back at home, I've kind of been struggling. I guess getting that set on the head as we paddled out sort of got me back into the groove of things, I guess.
I had the for the viewers at home, as we see Daniel on a rare right. Oh, he just punched his little invert. And right behind him is Stuart Knox in the white, just trying to just push through the closeout. For the World Wide Web viewers watching at home, Lockie and I surfed this morning, as we mentioned, and I was paddling out probably about 50 metres from behind him. And as we watch this little replay, and this is a little punchy reverse, invert, just not quite tweaking it hard enough, and the Stuart Knox just conceding to the closeout.
Yeah.
Pretty much just like you, mate. You were just conceded, like a 6-foot set, literally landed about 4 metres in front of you.
Yeah.
And you didn't even duck over. You just
I just kind of just stood there. It was either go out further and it would land on me, or kind of just sit there and hope it sort of goes over me. So I just kind of looked back in and looked at you and went, well, this is me. Enjoy the view.
I enjoyed it, mate. It gave me a nice little chuckle. Oh,
yeah, how's that?
How's that spit? As we're counting down the next, the final few seconds, we will go on hold for a few little minutes. We'll take a few advert breaks, and we'll be back in a few seconds. But mate, it's been a pleasure. I'm definitely going to get you back into the commentary booth, and maybe you're coming up in a little while. So I want to talk you through your heat, pre or post heat, and we'll be back very, very shortly here at the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro.
Check the sound, flip the switch. Now hold up, check the sound, flip the switch.
Okay, welcome back to the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro presented by NMD. My name is Dylan Beach and we've just seen an absolute smoking wave come through the lineup. We've just finished round number 1 here at for the Pro Men's. We are actually just going to take a little bit of a hiatus for a few minutes. We've just seen some solid sets come through, so we're going to wait until the next few minutes. We're moving into round number 2 in about 40 minutes, but what we're going to do is we're just going to go through a bit of a highlight reel, and then we're going to jump back onto the air and just give I guess a bit of a preamp and a little bit of an update into round number 2, because we've got some big riders. This is where our seeded riders come on through. Do not go anywhere. We will be back in about 10 minutes after this highlights reel of the Whale Beach, where we're at right now, some pumping waves. Don't go anywhere. We are watching the Bodyboard King Northern Beaches Pro. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro, presented by NMD. Dylan Beach here, alongside Benny Oborn, the big dog behind the ABA Pro Tour. Mate, welcome.
Hello again.
How are we?
Round two. I apologise for the brief interruption earlier, mate. Just had to go out and sort out some administrative situation.
Got to get the box ticked, mate. Got to get the boxes ticked. So, just a bit of an update for you guys watching back at home. We are just on a bit of a break whilst we finish from round number 1 of the Pro Men's, move into round number 2. We're just waiting for that tide to sort of shift in a little bit, sort of drop a little bit, because conditions are just going to get a whole lot better, and we just can't wait to sort of bring that to you guys live. We've got a few guys, few free surfers out in the water, so we might, as you can sort of see, the conditions are still pretty massive. And the swell is definitely not sort of looking like it's going to drop at all. So a few free surfers out in the water, mate, and we're just going to give, I guess, a little bit of a preempt, a little bit of a pre-show to round number 2, and sort of give you guys an update of what's coming up.
Yeah, so again, just a quick update. Obviously, the reason for the break, we've made a decision to put the women's on hold. We're going to move them forward to the start of day 2.
Yep.
So obviously that's why we're here on a break. At the same time, we can't really afford to move round 2 forward. Obviously kind of ruins the structure for those guys coming into round 2. So happy to go on a break and sit here and have a conversation about obviously the tour, about the event, and how it's all unfolding so far. Yeah,
mate, no, 100%. And what an opportunity, I guess, for us to pick your brain a little bit in terms of the tour and things like that. D-Bar Pro, it was a bit of a tricky one, wasn't it? You know, competing against the WSL, the WSL, with the first time they've ever moved to D-Bar.
In 8 years.
In 8 years, and then they've just come in and, well, actually, do you know what? Probably a little bit better move, because you guys got better waves.
We did, absolutely. Look, you know, I kind of explained how all this worked at the contest, but yeah, there's no harm in doing it again. I guess the issue with social media, people are quick to jump to conclusions about what happened, and you know, we took a little bit of the blame for that, but that's not the case. To Ryan, to the very beginning, the start of I guess the end of last season, we sat down as a board and obviously had a conversation about the direction the tour was going, our tour structure, what was working, what wasn't working. We introduced some rider forums and feedback sessions through social media and through direct conversation. First and foremost, the comment that came back was that the tour was too big. So in 2018, we ran 5 events. Yeah,
we covered, or we basically covered the country. WA, SA, tour in New South Wales, Queensland. Like, it's a big tour, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, ideally, that's our goal. We want to be an Aussie tour. We want to create contests and opportunities for all Australian bodyboarders to compete at a national level. Look, there's some back-end things that we've been working on, but I'll talk about them a bit later on. But yeah, the first thing was that, you know, it was just unachievable for, you know, it's an expensive tour to commit to. WA, wow, like, I mean, fantastic waves, but what a mission to get there. You might as well fly to Bali for a month. It's crazy.
It's a good point though, because I guess what a lot of people, I guess when we're seeing an event, you're seeing, you know, a webcast is so intensive. Even just like the judges and developing the stacked app and getting the heat draw, it's a massive effort. So when you're drawing, I guess, a whole tour, shifting locations, it's not an easy feat.
No.
and I know just as well as you do, mate.
So yeah, look, that was, I mean, it wasn't an easy thing to do, but we figured, you know what, let's I guess slim it down. Let's make it more financially achievable for the riders, and also make it, I guess, more contestable. So that moves us forward into our second change that we made for this season, which was to introduce the waiting period. So first time we've ever done it. In the past, it was we'd practically come out 6 months in advance and say, here's our tour stops, these are the dates, it's going to happen. For the first 4 years, touch wood, we got really lucky. Really lucky. I don't think there was a single event that we ran across the tour that got bad waves. Maybe day 1, but then that second day of the event always seemed to just turn it on. Last year though, Mother Nature was against not just us, but surfing in general.
Yeah.
The entire East Coast was plagued
Yep.
by inconsistent swells, none worse than what kind of rained down on the APB event in Kiama.
Yeah, exactly right. And you know, I guess like just moving on though, like the changes that was brought into place was really, I guess, to build the opportunities for these riders. Like
Absolutely.
I guess the ABA Tour and the profession, being a professional body in Australia, is all about giving Australian riders the opportunity to sort of take it to the next level, really, isn't it?
Yes.
It's kind of, as cliche as it is, it's the pathway to podium. We want to get these guys onto the World Tour.
Yeah, and look, I guess one of our business ethos, and it's been there since the beginning, is that we want to create a pathway for success through competitive bodyboarding.
Yep.
We want to be responsible for crowning the next Aussie world champ.
Yeah, 100%.
So
and
that's our ultimate goal.
And the likes of when you see like Liam Lucas travelling to Portugal, Lockie Cramsey going to Arica and things like that, is just I guess a showcase of that transition happening. And
yeah, absolutely.
you know, Louis, George, Davis, all those guys that are now sort of, I guess, representing Australia on the World Tour, basically honed it all onto the Aussie Tour.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But I guess coming back to the point, it is a lot about you know, these changes that the ABA brought into place, the 2-week window, the reduced events. The 2-week window makes sure we get waves just like this, which is absolutely pumping.
Amazing.
But then the reducing of the events actually increases the prize pool.
Absolutely.
So the riders that, I guess, that get to compete on these, absolutely, it benefits them. You know, the guys that are chasing the tour, and actually we try to, makes it a little bit more financially viable when they're walking away with a few $1,000s in the back pocket for an event.
Yeah, and I guess that's another thing that we've always set out to achieve.
Yep.
We want this to be the richest domestic tour in the world.
Yep.
And look, as far as I know, we are, and you know, we continue to put systems in place and create relationships with investors and companies to try and build that.
Yep.
I mean, not saying we want to be bigger than the World Tour, but hey, who wouldn't like to attract, you know, more of the world's best to our tour?
Yeah, 100%. And you know, you look at like the likes of today, you know, Ben Player, 3-time world champ, Toby Player's just been an icon of our sport, Lockie Cramsey, multiple Aussie Tour champion, Joey Clark. These are names that, like, back in the day when you're flicking through, you know, the magazines, like that would be a cover, a double spread, an article, and a double page advertising right there, all in one. So these are the names that are competing on our tour that are basically just the hallmarks of world bodyboarding.
And I mean, like you said, moving into round 2 for the pro men's, like, this is a pretty stacked international field, or world class field.
Yep.
You know, Heat 1 for round 2. Obviously, you've got back-to-back Pro Junior champion Liam Lucas.
Yep.
Heat 2, back-to-back Pro Men's champion Lockie Cramsey, and obviously World Tour competitor. He's coming up against Toby Player and two of South Africa's best, and Josh Cleve and Michael Osler. Hayato Anakido from Japan. Wes Fisher, another South African, and then 3 times world champion Ben Player. We've got Brazilians. We've got Gold Coasters. They're practically another country.
Yeah, and you just go through the rounds. I guess the next round, like we will be kicking those off in a few about probably 20 minutes time. But you look at we'll go through the rounds and probably just break them down a little bit one by one. So I guess heat number 1, Liam Lucas takes on Liam Flanagan, Joey Morton, and Mick Daly. How do you see this? Because Liam's the seeded rider in the next heat.
Absolutely. Well, that's Liam Lucas, Liam Flanagan's actually a wild card from the NMD Boardco team. Joey Morton, another up-and-coming junior. He's actually a wild card from Sydney Bodyboard Club. And then Mick Daly, a bit of a legend around these parts, and I guess a bit of a veteran / legend. You know, from a competition perspective, he's been in the tour scene for many years, and he's kind of one of those people that not a lot of people like competing against. He's pretty strategic.
He is pretty strategic. He's been in the game for a little while, and he sort of knows, especially out here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm just smiling because we're looking at the amazing footage that we're seeing at the drone. I'm just at the corner of my eye, I just saw what we're seeing, and I've seen some drone footage and some aerial stuff, which is like how amazing is this to be? Like, you can literally have your screen open, you can be at your local beach and have your phone open and scrolling through Facebook and listen to us nasally voices.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, Peachy.
But just seeing some pumping waves to finish off the tour.
I can't wait for this next heat to kick off. But,
Yep.
mate, look, in the meantime, I just want to obviously give a few shout-outs and obviously speak in detail about some of the great support we've had on tour. Without the support from these businesses and these people, obviously, we can't run. We can't operate. So, first and foremost, to Toby and his family from Bodyboard King.
Huge.
One of the longest supporting kind of companies for the ABA. And also Mez and Benny/Winnie from NMD Boardco.
Yep.
Cheers, guys, for putting on this event. And Bodyboard King's running a massive promo this weekend. Obviously 15% off.
Mate, my cart's full.
Yeah.
That discount code.
Yeah.
Tobes is going to be devastated if you find that, because
he's in big trouble when he gets to the office on Monday morning.
Yeah.
The inbox is going to be full.
The inbox is going to be full for sure. So
so 15% off everything from Bodyboard King. And then moving down the list to our tour sponsors.
Yep.
Sponsors?
Sponsors?
Yeah.
Talking about Queensland as being a different country, yeah.
Hey, I'm not a Queenslander anymore. Clearly, look at the tan. It's not there. But I want to give a massive shout out to Hutchie and the boys from Go On Bodyboarding.
Yeah.
Now our official clothing sponsor for the ABA. Bit of a new start company based down in Vico. Hutchie's been involved in the bodyboarding industry and I guess events for a very long time. One of the kingpins behind the Mornington Peninsula Bodyboard Club.
Just on that, Bodyboarding Club's just gone crazy, hasn't it?
It's
The
huge.
Mornington Peninsula.
It's huge.
It's huge. So shout out to you, mate. Thank you for supporting us.
I actually, I became a member of the MPBC this year. Kind of, walked in with a bit of a big head thinking, I got this.
How about this for an idea? Let's do a state of origin. SABC versus Mornington Peninsula Bodyboard Club.
Oh, we're on.
Yep.
Where are we holding it?
Knight's Beach, of course.
Oh my gosh.
I'll just get those contracts. Jasper, if you're watching, Nathaniel, if you're watching, get those contracts rounded up, mate. We'll send that over to the club president on the other side and we'll get them happening.
Yeah. Again, we need Janet to get started on those Alexandrina Council forms, mate. That's 6 months in the making. So no, Hutchie's an absolute legend. Obviously, he tried his very best to get up here this weekend, but mate, the business is booming. He's just kind of got his new website up and running, goonbodyboarding.com. They're doing a promo code this weekend for the event as well. So ABA 10, I think it is off the top of my head.
Is.
So jump onto goonbodyboarding.com. I think they've got about 50 plus different t-shirt designs to choose from. This is a very special one that they've made up for the tour. Yep. Nice.
Very good.
Slim fitting. Get my good side. Also to Aiden from Barley Bodyboarding. Barley Bodyboarding have come on as a supporter for our Masters division this year.
How's that prize that they've just put forward?
Yeah,
for the
pretty
Masters?
phenomenal. So it's all expenses, minus the flights.
But but you fly over there for $70.
Yeah, exactly.
Return these days.
Less than a weekend in the cross.
Exactly.
So seven-day trip up for grabs for the winner of this Masters division event here at the Northern Beaches Pro.
And that's live footage you're seeing on the drone on your screens right now. That is
Liam Lucas.
Heat number 1. Seated rider Liam Lucas in the red. And it's going to be an absolute cracking. I love this footage. Yeah, but sorry, get back to that. Aiden, what a supporter. Thank you so much for backing the tour this year. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Aiden over in WA for the WA Pro a few years ago, and he's such a nice guy. So happy to see. Recently
engaged.
Oh, congratulations.
Yep. Still haven't received an invite to the party in the mail, Ado. Not sure if you got my address wrong, but more than happy to get a flight over there to the weekend.
Yep.
For a couple of bintangs.
Yeah, and look at this footage. You can see the drone getting right up in the face, right in the grills of Liam Lucas right there.
Maybe
Liam Flanagan,
close.
maybe. The glare is getting to
it's
us.
Liam Lucas, yep.
So we're only a few short minutes from kicking things off. Maybe we'll just give a shout out to, of course, our last sponsors of the ABA Tour before we move on through.
So last but far from not least, limited edition Surf Hardware. So our official sponsor for fins, accessories. So big shout out to Shane and Mark and the
G'day, boys.
extended Britain family that get behind that company to make it work. They've been in the business for about 15 years now.
Yeah, and just tidying up a few Australian tours with their pro riders in the last basically 4 or 5 years.
They have
just dominated.
Got the monopoly.
Absolutely.
Got the monopoly. So
absolutely. Powering them through, if you don't mind my pun with the Finns, hey?
Oh my gosh. That's trademarked.
Yeah, it's trademarked.
But yeah, back to the water side of things. Obviously, we're about to get things kicked off for round 2 pro men's. First up in the water is again 2017 and 2018 pro junior back-to-back champion Liam Lucas. Also, I think runner-up pro men's last year or third.
I think he got third. I think he got nut right at the very, very end. I remember Haddo crunching those numbers down at.
Yeah, it was close.
It was very, very
Hayato
close.
second.
Yeah, you got me there, mate. I'm going to have to touch up. Anyone on the Facebook page, let us know.
But, yeah, so Liam Lucas in red, Liam Flanagan in the white, Joey Morton in yellow, and Mick Daly in the blue. Don't forget, folks, we'll have the scores running live across the top of your device screen, but you can also download the Stacked app, which is free via Google Play or iTunes. Gives you a far more detailed breakdown of the scores. You can look at previous heats and previous event scores. If you want to follow your favourite rider, you can set up a favourite rider profile and get the alerts. It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, and you can actually see judge by judge, which is really cool because during these sort of events, you basically how's that solid closeout with the drone footage? Epic. Usually at these sort of events, you basically just see, the end result of the judges, what the judges' score is, but you don't actually see what the judges' breakdown is. Obviously with the judges, the score gets averaged out to a single number, but seeing what Judge A is loving and what Judge B is loving is completely different. But look at that air bowl.
Mate, if you squint hard enough, Dylan, that's nice. Just so we're clear, we're not contracted to promote nights in any way, shape or form during this event.
You've just got a South Australian up here, mate. It's just, I don't know, I sort of feel quite at home at the old Whaley Beach. I sort of love it. I think it's a little bit more I think the Player Brothers will hate me for saying this, but a little bit more user-friendly.
Yes.
Than the old K-Bay. And,
K-Bay?
K-Bay. And but yeah, I don't know. I think this wave offers just a little bit more. It's a little bit, it changes things up. You can sort of see, there's barrels, there's bowls, there's long walls, and it's just a little bit more fun. So yeah, we are just about to kick things off. So do hold on to your phone wherever you're watching from. If you want to let us know where you're watching from, or sort of ask us a question, as I said earlier in the webcast, we'll be basically asking a few of the guys some questions throughout the day. So say g'day, and if you've got a question for any of the boys or girls during the event, flick them through, because we will be asking, we'll have the likes of Ben Player, 3-time world champ, we'll have the likes of Toby back in the booth, Crams, you'll have Joey Clark. If there was any questions that weren't answered in the recent podcast series or anything like that, let us know. I know I've got a few stored away in this behind the brain. So
any questions for me?
Not
suitable
no.
for a podcast. No, fair enough. So obviously, plenty of guys checking back in to get started for round 2 of the Pro Men's. Big shout out to Michael Jennings, the media and content director for the ABA. Unfortunately, MJ couldn't make it down to this one due to other work commitments. Mate, his production company, Michael Jennings Creative, is gangbusters.
Yeah, just gone huge.
So he's flat out working a charity event this weekend. So, buddy, we miss you. We obviously don't show our appreciation enough to you. Whilst you're down here on site, I got a first-hand feel of how it is to set up a webcast this morning. So, yeah, really appreciate what you do, buddy. Once again, big shout out to Steve from Gone Bodyboarding. Tony Vidler's given a big shout out to Mick Daly.
Mick Daly, he's we talked about him before. He's going to be one of those riders that might just come through and knock these young bucks off their perch. You reckon?
He just has that look about him. He's a veteran.
Yeah.
He's late 30s. I'm going to make a
good-looking late 30s.
Good-looking late 30s.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. But he's got that
the mongrel in him.
I didn't want to say it, but you've said it, so yes, he's got mongrel.
He's
He's incredibly smart in the way he competes.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's especially out here, and you know when you go to D-bar and things like that, and you see how smart he is and how he strategic he plays the heats. You know, he doesn't muck around, he doesn't waste energy. Just he sort of waits for the good waves, and when he gets them, he's really solid. He doesn't do the big backflips, he doesn't do the big inverts. But he lands what he does.
Yep,
And what he does is solid.
It's textbook.
Yeah.
It incorporates style.
Yep.
It incorporates technique, skill.
Yeah.
And I guess bodyboarding genius to a degree.
Yeah.
Once you've been competing for such a long time like that, you understand what it takes to win heats.
Yep.
You can in 20 minutes as a competitor you can catch 10 waves if you want. But that's not that strategic. Sometimes depending on the conditions that's what you need to do. But Mick could sit out there for 20 minutes, do nothing for 15, and just pick those 2 waves that come through in that last 5 to get the job done to move forward through to the next round.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess that, through the long story, you cut it short. At the end of the day, judges only score 2 waves.
Yep.
And if you get to those 2 waves and they're solid, they tick all the judges' boxes, that's sort of what you really need. That's what more do you need? And Mick Daly does that very, very well. Looking through the heat, though, I'm just going to pick up my phone and be a little bit rude here, but looking through the heat draw, one of the ones that I'm really looking forward to is heat number 2, Lockie Cramsey, Josh Cleave, Toby Player, and Michael Osler. Now that,
Battle of the continents, mates.
But look at that, Cramsey is probably the youngest one in that, and then you've got Josh Cleave and Michael Osler and Toby, who, for one, this is kind of their home. This is their home break. They've got this place on absolute dial, but then they're super good competitors and they surf so good.
Mate, there's something about the Saffers.
There is. They absolutely just rip.
Hey, look, on that note, Dill, we're going to cut to a quick break
and
then come back to you folks live to get things going for round 2 of Pro Men's. Stay tuned.
Now hold up, check the sound, flip the switch. Now hold up, check the sound, flip the switch.
and gentlemen, live here from Whale Beach for the final stop of the 2019 ABA Pro Tour, the Bodyboard King Northern Beaches Pro, presented by NMD Board Co. Benny Oborn here, jack of all trades for the ABA, joined by the better-looking man in front of the camera, Dylan Beach, all the way from South Oz, mate.
Jack of zero trades.
Yeah, how was the bus ride up here, pal?
Oh, mate, the old grey line.
Yeah.
Gee, 10 hours of battling through, Had a couple of packets of grain waves, but we got here and we, all good. I flew up last night and got picked up from this man himself, Benny Oborn, and it was an absolute pleasure, mate. I'm stoked to be up here and stoked to be involved in the last event for 2019.
Stoked to be in warm water?
Oh, you absolutely have zero idea how nice this water is. It's like an absolute spa. So, yep, stoked to be here and pumping conditions. I had a little surf this morning, got my hair wet, got a little bit of salt water through the nostrils and enjoying just watching bodyboarding again. I love it. It's an absolute, this sport is just given me really everything that I have. So, yeah.
Oh, apart from your good looks, mate, you were born with that.
Yeah, and my girlfriend loved that I was bodyboarder. Like it's the attraction. The good looks didn't attract her. It was me carrying that NMD bodyboard under my arm.
I actually have no idea what attracted my wife to me, mate. Because, but look,
hey, mate,
I'm happy. Look, we're live with round 2 of the Pro Men's in the water as we speak. We're about an hour past the low tide here at Whaley, and for those guys that have been paying close attention to that wide-angle view that's coming out, you see the headland there to the north. The reason why we made the decision to run with a start time of 10 AM was to make sure we got the best conditions a couple of hours either side of that low tide. Northern Beaches has been getting bombarded with, I guess, a fair bit of, or a lack thereof, swell over the last few months, and a lot of sand's been pushed up in here.
Yeah.
So what that means is that high tide's really preventing that wedge from working. Obviously very blessed yesterday. The start of this big swell kind of tore a lot of that sand back out through that little channel on the outside, and now that wedge is absolutely firing. But we'll try and wrap things up to here today around 2:30, and then start time probably about 9:15 tomorrow as we implement the women's to the start of the day tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. And tomorrow morning is looking at the forecast. A little bit of a drop in swell conditions. Will swell direction will just swing a little bit more east, which is touted to be kind of the better direction for here. And then winds will be back offshore as well. So from the sounds of that, all boxes are ticked, and we should be in the running for a cracking day to finish off. And you know what? For me, there's no better way to crown a champion and a tour champion when the waves are pumping. And that, for me, is just ticks all boxes, and I just absolutely love it. So, yeah, stoked. What a weekend. How good is this when you plan an event? And hats off to you. We're talking about tour changes to implement like a 2-week or a couple
3 week.
3 week.
Yeah, let's not call it 3 week. Let's be clear. 3 weekends.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
we're not the WSL.
To implement, I guess, just a waiting period, which is the kind of the first. And look at these sets.
They're if that doesn't test out your lung capacity.
Yeah, and I don't know, like when you're battling the rip and you're battling, 4 to 5 foot, 6 foot sets. It's definitely going to get the heart racing for all of these competitors. But the challenge is right now, as we see these riders, is to actually get back into position. So you can see, well, I guess what you can't see right now on the webcast, but we might try to get a little pan shot around, is where they are sitting in relation to the beach. So the guys are actually probably 10, 15 meters out from where they should be. And where the waves are breaking. So what will happen was these guys have just pushed their way through. The rip's just rearing up. See, that's a great shot right now. You can see it right in the center of the screen, the rip just pushing these guys, or pulling these guys all the way out. They really, ideally want to be sort of 10, 15 meters back inside where this wave's just about to break right now. That's kind of the sweet spot here at Whaley right now.
I'll meet you on the beach, mate. I'll meet you on the beach.
Well, there's Pirate Life's in hand.
Yeah, look, I probably didn't touch base enough on Pirate Life. earlier either. So yeah, we've just started a really great connection with a team from Pirate Life, which is a beautiful craft brewery based in not that far from you, Beachy.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, South Australian.
Mate, and they've actually just finished setting up I think it's their new brew house. Is that correct?
Oh, mate, if you are in South Australia, and this is from a guy that works in tourism, right?
Here comes the pitch.
I don't even work for Pirate Life. Hint, hint, guys. These guys have just opened a brand new brewery in the beautiful, and I would kind of want to call it a revamped suburb of Adelaide called Port Adelaide. It's right on the Port River. These guys have just opened up this state-of-the-art brewery and bar, and even if you don't drink beer, this is like one of those like iconic South Australian things, because what these guys have done is phenomenal, and it definitely helps that their beer is quite tasty as well. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Special thanks to Pirate Life, who've decided to show some support towards the Aussie tour. So Pirate Life will proudly be bringing you the live replays as we see Liam Lucas with a nice little high line roll there, putting the brakes on, little insider, and goes back to back with a bit of a combo.
Nice.
Definitely wasn't obviously a set wave, but I think, you know, almost 10 minutes gone in this heat, Liam was just kind of scratching to get the first one on the belt, as we see again on the Pirate Life replay. Rider in yellow with just the single roll, and that's Joey Morton. You can tell by those golden locks, mate.
Yeah. And this is live footage right now. This is Liam Flanagan. Oh, do you know what? I love Liam surfing. Oof. That was a solid roll. How was the board just going through the roof there? And you see him just being ejected from that whitewash. I love Liam Flanagan surfing. I reckon he's so solid. Talking with Benny before, as we watch this replay, look at this foamy section. Jeez. I was just hearing myself in the background there.
A few quick little shout outs to those following us live on the webcast feed through the Bodyboard King website. Damien Alexander, they call him the godfather of the vintage bodyboarding collective. He's over in Sumatra at the moment on a little trip with Mike Stewart, funnily enough.
There you go.
So I think he's over there with Shane Gasson and a couple other guys. I think there's quite a few over there. Little secret strike mission, actually.
Johnny Crookshank. I saw him just get shredded on by the Sumatran tiger the other day, as he likes to put it. So Johnny, thinking of you there, mate. I'm kind of not really that sorry, because you're in tropical getting pumping waves. A little Sumatran tiger cut. You'll be right.
Tobes has just updated the promo code as well. Had a few glitches earlier, folks, but it is working. ABA 15 to get you 15% off in store through all Bodyboard King gear this weekend. Lucas Almeida from Brazil is watching. Hola, amigo.
Look at this one from Joey Morton. What a section.
Oof.
He's going to back up a 3.33 if he can ride out of this. You can see his blonde locks. Wow, that's that smile on his face.
He's like, I'm done. See you guys at the bakery.
You know what? You rarely see guys claiming in bodyboarding. That was sick. This young rider is basically just pushing his way through and taking on some big names.
Look how excited he is. He's just, I want to get back out. It's
so good to see. So good to see. Running up the beach just there. So wait for scores to come through there, and that has just come through at a 6.33. Look at this beautiful size wave. Negotiates some heavy foam right there, and look at that roll. Now this is actually probably the hardest wave. Clean bottom turn. Look at this thing. Loving the the footage here, the close-up of the action. 6.33 has bumped him into first place, and we just saw blue in the background whilst we're watching this replay, and we just heard screams on the beach. So we're hoping to get a bit of a replay on that one, because that sounded like an absolute rip snore of a wave there, Benny.
Mate, it's so heavy.
It's so heavy.
So heavy. And again, like we said, mate, this is what we want for pro bodyboarding events. We want to push bodyboarding to its absolute limit here in Oz.
Yep. And live action. This is Liam Lucas.
Pulling in.
Oh, he's deep in the barrel. It spits. Just gets clipped.
Just right at the end there.
Yeah, tough one. Absolute tough one. So we'll tee up a few replays for that. But Mick Daly, Joey Morton, Liam Lucas and Liam Flanagan all sort of getting some scores under their belt. And a few more international viewers there, Benny. We've got Frank from NZ. How's it? We've got some boys from Sumatra, as I said. Some boys from back home. G'day, boys.
Kenneth Glover from Dana Point in California. How you doing, Dana Point?
Felipe Nunez from Mexico. Hello, hello, hello.
A good buddy of mine, Richie Chilepi, is watching from Newey, I think. I don't know where you are these days, mate, but I saw you log in before. I hope you're doing well. Tony Villas watching from Ballina.
Whoa, look at that score from Mick Daly, a 7.5. We actually, spewing because we...
Not sure what that flag is.
That's Morocco.
Is it Morocco? Sharaf Nafi from Morocco. Thanks for tuning in, mate. Really appreciate your support.
Yeah, look at that. So 7.5 for Mick Daly, 6.33 for Joey Morton on his last wave. That was a solid section there.
Good little exchange there through that, yeah, that little set.
Yeah, 100%. And Liam Lucas, you know, a 4.67. It's he'll look definitely to sort of increase on that. But with about 8 minutes to go, we saw Lachlan Cramsey making his way down for his next heat. Lockie Cramsey, defending champion for the, or coming off a win of D-Bar and obviously 2018 champion.
What is there to say that hasn't already been said?
Who doesn't like to spin on the lefts? That's what it can be said.
Yes,
That's
true.
my little nitbit that I picked up last night.
What was the other one? There was another one.
He doesn't... Okay, so this is really interesting.
Inside scoop.
Inside scoop. Lachlan Cramsey was talking last night on the way back from the airport that he doesn't actually like to look at the heat draw before he goes into a competition. You know, the guy of his caliber, and I was asking him this question, we'll get him back onto the webcast, but he doesn't like to sort of... I guess look at who's up against. He just goes out, does the job, ticks the box. Goes to work. Yeah.
But look at his track record. I've known Lockie for a very, very long time. Back to when he first started competing at state level in Queensland. I was overseeing the Queensland sector up there. Lockie's super coach mum, Judith Cramsey, was driving him everywhere for every possible event. He was, would you believe, he was shy? He never spoke. He showed up. This is before the day of iPods, by the way. So he'd just sit with his mum, maybe have a little conversation with some of his mates, and then he'd just put the game face on and just go out and beat everyone from the ripe old age of like 14. And then from there, obviously, committed to doing the Aussie tour. Took him a few years to obviously get his feet. You know, those first few years we ran the Aussie tour, you had guys like Jake Stone committing, and as we saw, he went back to back.
Mitch, Winnie, Dave Crowley.
And now, Lockie is obviously, he's gone back to back. And if all goes well for him in this heat,
the trifecta.
So we'll go down as the first in history for the three-peat as an Aussie Tour champion.
Do you know the actual scenario? I'll put you on the spot here. How far does he have to go to...
well, I mean, he won the first event this season, so, I mean, he's in a pretty good position. The calculations aren't that hard, this obviously only being the second to last event. You know, Hayato and Akito came second up on the Goldie, so...
It's kind of a battle between those guys, really, isn't it? And probably Joe.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, look, they would be my three favourites. But in saying that, there's so many dark horses in this event that can completely ruin the chances for any of those guys.
Yeah, and that's the best thing, I guess, when you're putting up in, I guess, against good guys in good waves, anything can happen. And I guess the perfect scenario with 5.5 minutes remaining is Joey Morton, probably the youngest man in the heat, a 6.33 and a 3.33. Mick Daly's probably in the best position. He's dropped to 7.5. But Liam Lucas and Liam Flanagan, who were probably looking at the heat draw, my top tips for going through, are sort of like... So, you know, Liam, when we look at Liam Flanagan, but Liam Lucas kicking off on this one, he's going to try to get around this section. It's got a little bit of a washy section, but you can sort of see it sort of faded off. But, you know, Liam Flanagan in the white, 1.5, 1.2. I was kind of expecting him to sort of push...
There's Mick Daly now. Oh... So much rail control on that face, and I mean, it looked super bumpy.
Yeah.
Just
look at this one.
Use that arm strength.
Oof. You can see Joey Morton picking off an N1
Here you
section.
go.
Driving through it. Would have been a nice little claim if he walked out right in front of Mick Daly right there.
So, I guess a quick recap, everyone. As you can see, conditions are starting to change a little bit now. We're about an hour past the low tide. So it's starting to change. That's why I've made the decision to kind of wrap things up at the end of round 2 for Pro Men's here today.
Yep.
And then come back, start a little earlier tomorrow.
Yep.
Run the women's first. Get those girls out there to
Showcase what they got.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, hopefully wrap things up 2-3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon before the tide switches again.
Cool. How good's this view? What you've just flown over right there is where Benny and I are talking from in the commentator's tent, and you are looking at this aerial view of North Whaley. That big headland on the left of the screen. Geez, that would be nice to own a house up on top of that. Not on my tourism wage, but maybe on the bodyboarding wage, Benny. But what you can see, and
There's a wage?
I'm pointing at the screen here. You guys, I don't need to look at the screen, but where these guys are sitting is probably only maybe about 100 metres away from a dry ledge, which is what creates this left-hand wedge. And you can see one sort of just pushing across over here. But what a stunning spot! What an incredible place to be. And yeah, stoked. So, yeah, you can see, excuse me, the next heat paddling out now, so it means we're under the 5 minutes remaining. And the Liam squared, as I like to call them, need to start getting busy because Liam Lucas is needing a 4.21 and Liam Flanagan is needing a 7.3 to progress because Mick Daly has dropped a 7.5. That's just a tough one to overtake because all Mick needs to do is just get a backup. He's holding on to a 1.37. That's a sniffer wave.
It's a throwaway.
Yeah, it's a throwaway any day of the week.
But big heat coming up next, Dill. Lockie Cramsey, Josh Cleve, all the way from Cape Town, now residing here in Sydney, of course. Toby Player.
What do you say?
Yep. He is the bodyboard king. Yep. I think he would hate me if he heard me say that. And then Michael Osler. So Mickey, another South African, Durban-based. But he's been over here for not that long now. Probably about 18 months, I think, Mickey.
Yeah, he's been over here, basically started up some board company and sort of been supported by Desi and stuff like that.
Absolutely. So I guess don't want to talk too much for conflict of interest purposes. But yeah, Mickey's running his own board company over here in Oz. And yeah, wish him all the best, mate. It's good to see more kind of industry bands getting behind it. But funnily enough, Mickey and I actually share a good mutual friend over in South Africa.
Oh.
Well, South Africa.
South Africa.
So big shout out to our pal Richard and Ali Walters, if they're watching. Probably not, too busy running their incredibly successful surf camp over on the East Coast in a beautiful little part of the world called Umzumbe in the KwaZulu-Natal district. I was very fortunate enough to spend some time working over there a few years back, and yeah, funnily enough, Mickey and I apparently crossed paths and didn't say much.
Cool story, mate.
Yeah, cool story. Next question. But look, not long to go in this heat, folks. A minute remaining. Mick Daly, obviously, finally making his move. Getting rid of that throwaway, replacing it with a 4. Joey Morton slipping back into second. But like you said, mate, probably the two hot favourites we saw taking this one out, Liam Lucas and Liam Flanagan, in a bit of strife. It's kind of one of those, get a wriggle on, boys.
Yeah, we've seen it happen a few heats. We saw Noel Gilroy, the exact same.
Look at him.
Joey Morton frothing,
He's
isn't
frothing.
he?
Absolutely frothing.
Oh, you can see. And whilst we've got you in a little break of the action, if you are watching this feed on the Bodyboard King Facebook page, share it. If you can share it onto your own page, let's just get the whole feed frothing and everyone out there. You know, we'll try to spread the love as big as we can. And of course, if you are watching, let us know where you're watching from, and we'll try to say g'day and yeah, have a little bit of a conversation and say.
Absolutely. Yeah. Look, and on that note, folks, unofficially looks like Mick Daly's going to take this one out behind Joey Morton. Those guys progressing through to the quarters. And unfortunately, Liam Lucas and Liam Flanagan getting knocked in round 2 as we go to a quick ad break. We'll see you folks back here shortly. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, live from Whale Beach for the first day of the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro presented by NMD Board Co. Pro Men's Round 2, Heat number 2 in the water. Defending ABA back-to-back Pro Champion Lockie Cramsey in the red, taking on Josh Cleave in the yellow. I'm going to say he's from South Africa. He'll never be an Australian.
In the yellow?
Sorry, white. Toby Player in the yellow. Obviously was conceived in the sands here at Whale Beach. And then Mickey Osler in the blue. Without a doubt, Dylan, this is the heat to watch in round 2.
Yeah, mate. We talked about it a little bit before, and this is sort of what I sort of touted as probably my favourite heat to watch. You've got 3 local boys going up against probably the best competitor in Australia, I think, at the moment. I think, you know, Lockie Cramsey is just a machine. We talk about, do you know what, I hope Jasper Ashmore, the local man from back home, is listening to this, because I got this great story about Lockie Cramsey, and just, I guess, portrays how much a machine he is. And I don't want to talk him out right now, because I just, you know, the old commentator's curse. But
who are you, Drake?
I think the story of Lockie Cramsey takes me back 2 years ago to the Knights comp. It was pumping condition. Jasper Ashmore is like the king of Knights. He surfs.
He went right that day, didn't he?
No, he doesn't go right.
No, Jasper went right.
He might have gone right, but there was a heat where he, as we see live footage of Ariel, that's Josh Cleave, a nice ARS, and he just gets caught. Great footage up there from the drone here at the Bodyboard King.
Chief drone operator, is it Mick Parkhill today, maybe? Not sure.
I think so.
Or Sammy. Not sure. We've got a big media team.
We do. Yeah.
Working hard behind the scenes.
Absolutely. Yeah, so this story, because this
Get back to it.
Yeah, this gets back to it. So Lockie Cramsey, Jasper Ashmore, man-on-man semi-final, Knights Beach Pro, pumping conditions. Jasper had just the heat of his life. Dropped like an 8 and a 9 or something like that, and was just basically thought he just nailed it. And look at this, Lockie Cramsey, big roll, lands smooth, runs it out. So
good segue.
Jap was just thinking he was just killing it, thinking, I'm going to make the final here of the Knights Beach Pro.
He was planning renovations with prize money.
He was going to knock out Lockie Cramsey. Then something just switched. 10 minutes to go, Lockie just goes, okay, enough's enough. Lockie just drops a 10 and a 9.5 within 5 minutes and just comboed Jasper. And I remember Jasper saying after the thing, just going, as we watch a replay, that was literally the best heat of my life. How did that happen? But you talked about a little bit before, is Lockie, he just comes to a beach and he just switches. And
it's a bit deflating, isn't it?
It's a bit deflating. He can literally, you feel like he literally just does it on a dime and whenever he wants. So
absolutely.
That's what makes him tough. Look at this little inside wedge. That's me after this comp. I'm going to be inside that like it's nobody's business.
Well, it's our business. This is why we're here, to talk about this kind of thing. Do your research.
Okay, scores coming through. Michael Osler, 6.83. Not a bad way to kick things off, but Lockie Cramsey, a 7.33 off his first wave. And this is what we were hoping for in this heat. First 4.5 minutes. Whoa, Toby Player, 9.17. Did we miss that one?
You're telling a story.
Oh, goodness gracious me. You can see him paddling out. But
we'll see if we can't, back catalogue and pull up that replay for Toby, the rider in yellow.
That was that's a huge score. That's the single highest score of the day so far for Tobes, the local knowledge, the Bodyboard King himself.
I actually feel a bit bad for Josh Cleave here. He got an absolute cracking inside on his first wave. Super clean invert. Unlucky to come unstuck, 1.5, and then bang, Toby 9.17, Lockie 7.33, Mickey Osler 6.83. That'd hurt. That would hurt.
And any other day, any other heat today so far, 6.83 would be winning.
Yeah.
You'd be solid score. So Tobes in the yellow.
I think I won the 2013 Gold Coast Bodyboard Club Pro Men, well not pro men's, just men's male participants with a high score of a 6.83.
A combined score?
Yeah, it's a combined score. That was my average for the year, I think. Total, every wave for the year got me a 6.83. But I'm not sure if that wide angle picked up a little man walking along the beach with his head just looking at the sand. That was Hayato and Aikido from Japan. Coming up next in heat number 3, alongside guys like Joe Clark. Hayato is one of those guys you just don't really know what's going to happen. I think historically he performs better in right-handers.
Yep.
But this time last year, mate, he took out this event.
There you go.
So that's going to be another interesting heat. Obviously, Hayato, in his probably what we'd call broken English, speaks incredibly highly of Lockie Cramsey. It's a guy that he looks up to, both physically and mentally. But at the same time, he's the one guy he just wants to beat.
Yeah.
There's this admiration, respect, but kind of competitive hate at the same time. This is a guy that he just wants to stand above on the podium. And that wasn't a pun there at the end either.
That's what makes him better, though, isn't it, really? When you've got someone that you can aspire to, but you just want to absolutely, as his fellow countryman Kanoa Igarashi said, I just want to rip his head off, as he was talking about with Kelly Slater coming up in one of his heats recently.
Do you think, was there anything behind that, or was that a bit of playful banter? I mean, the heat before, Kelly was getting pretty brutal against Felipe. Like, it just would have smashed him.
I don't mind a little bit of fire, you know. I think it's epic just to.
How's that view, Dill? Sorry to interrupt, but look at that wide pan from the drone.
Stunning. Looking
onto the headland here at the Northern Beaches. What a place.
Yeah, look at this wave. This is up and riding.
Josh Cleve.
What a great perspective.
See the thickness of that lip then.
Yeah.
Just as it threw out.
And he rides out. Look how much whitewash he's just trying to push through on that one. That's phenomenal surfing by Josh Cleve. You know, he thought, we were talking about, thought he would started off pretty strong. We just got a little wave off the kick, off the start. Look at that section. He just headbutts that lip and manages to get through it. Sometimes it feels like you've just been KO'd sometimes when you go up against the lip like that. I've had waves where you my timing's not always, you know, I put on a few kgs since my prime time, Benny. And
speak for yourself, Dylan.
Oh, look at this wave, though.
Oh.
And your timing's just not
Mickey
quite as good
Osler.
as that. And
arm extension, kind of just, you know, a little bit of a look at me syndrome. But super technical, really clean rotation and landing there for Michael Osler on the Pirate Life live replay. Look at that thing, just pushed it out.
Yeah, big roll.
Came down so smooth.
Did.
Not a lot of bounce. That's obviously going to be a nice little score to go alongside his 6.83. Not just as much, but definitely enough to push him into first place. A 5.6. So Toby Player slipping back down to second. In saying that, Toby's just got the one wave, a 9.17, almost a perfect score. And third place, Lockie Cramsey, still looking for a second. And Josh Cleve putting a 4.67 on the board there for that clean roll. He's still looking to throw away a 1.5 as we hit the 10-minute mark. Defending to a champ, Lockie Cramsey, a little roll. Again, I think that's a little pencil mark for him. Yeah. Definitely not his full potential. But I don't know, maybe it's just a little position technique, trying to work his way back to the inside.
Well, he's got a 7.33. So
yeah,
he's got a great score. And I reckon this is going to be quite interesting because this is where we see, as we see Lockie's replay, how's the kick just to get that speed around that section. Punches a good roll. But this is going to be really interesting here because we've got two guys in a very similar situation. You've got Toby Player 9.17. You've got Lockie Cramsey 7.33. Two really high single wave scores. And you're seeing Toby patient. And you're seeing Lockie trying to get a backup score.
Yeah.
So how this is going to play out is going to be really interesting. You can see Toby Player out the back there. He knows there's another score out there. He knows there's another good wave there. There is a priority system in play. So how he uses that and how he plays that to his advantage to hold off the likes of Cramsey, Josh, and Michael. It's going to be interesting because Lockie just dropped a 4.83. So he's going to hope to get a better wave than that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So as we wait for this bit of a wash through set coming through now, Mickey Osler could be at the end of it. No. But take a bit of time once again. Big shout out to those supporting this event. Start at the bottom, work our way up to Limited Edition, our official surf hardware sponsor for the season, aka Shane Britton.
G'day, Shano.
Hi Shane. Shano, flat out at the moment this time of year, mate. Scouring the coast in his
in the van.
That guy the van
has probably travelled, I don't know, how many times do you reckon he's travelled around Australia? 15, 16 times?
Should have his own TV show.
Yeah.
Adventures with Shane.
I would watch it.
But, big shout out to you, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Hope the journey home the last few days was all right, mate. Glad you got there safe.
And how's the look at this beautiful
Mickey Osler, bottom turning.
Oh. Thank you for coming.
And still going. Oh, yep. Complete there with that roll as well.
So this is going to be interesting because that was an absolute beautifully surfed wave. Really nice bottom turn. This is Toby Player. It's going to be quick because that section rolls over him. And he just, yeah, he wasn't too happy with that. I think he was expecting something a little bit better than that.
Pull straight out and he'll be pushing hard to use that rip to his advantage.
Yeah. So look at this one. Love this replay here. This is big, nice ARS and lands so smooth.
For such a big guy, like
Yeah.
Mickey comes in at like 6'1" or something.
Yeah.
Like about 6'2". Yeah, we've got our tech coach over in the corner updating the stats.
Official height scorer.
Yeah, official height.
See, Bruce McAvaney may have Channel 7 behind him, but we've got the tech.
We got Matty. Matty from South Africa in the corner. Yeah, crunching numbers. He's got the details.
I'd love to know how many rolls Lachlan Cramsey has done in competitive bodyboarding. Now that would be a stat, wouldn't it? How many?
It'd be a better stat if Dennis Cometti could read it out.
Yeah. Dylan Beach doesn't quite have that same rhyme to it, does it?
No. But 6.5 to go. Dylan and Mickey kind of giving himself a little bit of clearance now on the stacked app scoring system. Toby Player with a 3.17 for that last wave. Again, I think he'll see that as a throwaway. Lachlan Cramsey, I mean, it's a good combined score total, 12.16, but clearly not enough to put himself in a safe spot of contention.
Yeah, look at this one. This is from Toby. A smaller wave, but a nice clean wave.
Wow.
Beautiful carving into a forward. He's going to like dig those legs in, and he needs a roll here, and he does. So that will, in my mind, replace the 317.
Oh, without a doubt. Not a set wave. That's probably the one thing that's going to let him down there. In terms of culmination, as we check this out on the Pirate Life Brewing replay, really powerful carve. Tight forward, back into the pocket, puts the brakes on, into the little head dip, finishes it off with a roll.
Jeez, I'd be happy with that.
Well, I mean, that's what you practice for events, isn't it?
Yeah.
That kind of setup.
And it does improve his 317. It comes in at a 443. So with coming into the 5-minute mark, look at this. We've got an 817, a 683 for Michael Osler, a 917 and a 443 for Toby, a 733 and a 483 for Lockie, and a 467 and a 317 for Josh Cleve. This is literally one of the closest but highest scoring heats we've seen today.
Absolutely. Bring back Bodyboard bet.
Responsible
Wow, 5 minutes, and look at these sets. Like these bomb sets, they're intimidating. There's so much power and so much water coming through. Look at that one at the back.
Yeah.
Absolute avalanche. I mean, those guys in a relatively good position at the moment to get through it. But even then, like you said, not sure who that was at the end that probably almost just got clipped. But there's so much water movement. That rip running out through the back end of the rocks is just flowing. And then you got to deal with the wave itself.
Yeah, exactly right. And when you looked at that, like Lachlan Cramsey was furthest out, and that wave literally broke 20 metres out further from him. So, like, that just, that wave was probably 6 foot, a little bit of water moving around on the inside as well. It makes it a little bit harder to negotiate. But, yeah, it's a pretty exciting way to finish. You can see Michael Osler in the blue. What a great way to sort of command respect at your home break. Dropping some seriously big scores, but Toby Player and Lachlan Cramsey, I think this is where it's going to be. This is where the battle's really going to be for second place with Toby and Lockie.
So a couple of shout-outs to Chris Ross, Leilani Kavanagh, putting her hands up in the air for Mickey Osler. Mundong wants us to go and watch the box on the WSL feed, mate. Disappear. Seriously, buddy. You're in the wrong sport if you think that's better than what we got going on here, pal. Sorry, I'm not the negative type, but we're running a spectacular event here, Beachy.
Look at this
Look
thing.
at that. Toby going right. Just committing to an absolute deathly right-hander. And he's still under.
I tell you what, though, we are way better than Strider Wasilewski. What did you say?
Well, your voice, particularly.
Oh, I just think, you know. Right.
Shout out to Tyson Perez as well. Dylan, you're more culturally inclined than me.
It's Puerto Rico, mate.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico's on fire. Also, my mate from back home, the old Ned Raggett. Acid tongue Ned Raggett. Usually jumps on the mic with me sometimes, but had to pull the pin on him because he actually didn't rock up one time. So, sorry, Rags, you're out of here, mate.
Off the friendship list, mate. If MySpace was really still around, you'd be out of the top 10.
Out of the top 10. No. Big shout outs to one of my best mate, Ned. He's tuning in on the Facebook page. How are you, mate? And yeah, stoked.
Plenty, mate. The numbers are just increasing for the views, so pretty stoked to see this kind of following. Rosalie Belisario.
Hold the phone though, mate. We'll have a look at this thing from Josh. This is what the doctor ordered for him. This is a sick section.
My.
Look at that roll. And if he can hold on to that, that could have been the 8.9 that he needed. And seeing his board just flick up from there, that for Josh Cleve would have brought him back into the money game.
That was hectic.
Look at this thing. Look at how it just rears up from the inside bank and just absolutely detonates on the inside. That was what we would call a rib breaker for sure.
Another South African tuning in, Ruan Schwartz. Hope I said that right. Oh. Yeah, rat. Killing it, Brew.
Lachlan
Cramsey. I think he lost a fin.
You could hear.
I saw that popping out.
You can hear the beach just go mental on that one. Lachlan Cramsey. Oh, you can see the fin on the far of the screen.
He's in strife. Well, look, a minute and a half left.
We'll pull up a replay for that one because that one was heavy. Lachlan Cramsey was going for broke there. So interesting to sort of see if we can zoom in on him. See, I reckon he did lose a fin there, Benny. Where's the caddies when we need him?
It was either that or the neighbour's cat. Jeez. Here we go on that Pirate Life Brewery replay.
So that's where, he sort of skipped out.
And then the fin just pops out. Wow.
So he needed it. He's sitting in third position. He needed something big.
I hate to say it. There's 45 left on the clock.
Here he goes.
Straight into it.
And this,
one fin.
This looks like
it's not bad. And coming out.
With 30 seconds to go, Ben.
Needing a 6.28 to move into second. 30 seconds on the clock.
This is interesting. Toby Player, he's still got 30 seconds. You can see where he is. He's holding on to the single highest heat score of this heat, a 9.17. He's just been waiting so patiently all round.
15 seconds. We're going to count this one down. Dylan, we might have to stay tuned to after the ad break to give you the results.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolute...
Toby might have needed that.
Counting it down. Wow, so judges has still not...
They're deliberating.
Done that one. And we will go to a break. We'll come back with official heat scores and who moves into the next round straight after the break. welcome back to the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro presented by NMD. What you are looking at on your screen right now is your two riders progressing into the next round. That was one of the most exciting finishes to a heat that I've witnessed in a while. Lachlan Cramsey lost a fin going for a big roll. He needed a 6.4. He landed a big roll with about 30 seconds to go. Got 6.6 and enough to progress into the next round. So that was one of the toughest heats. Toby Player was kicking things off. He basically nailed one of the waves of the competition with a 9.17 off the bat, but just couldn't back it up. Whereas Lockie Cramsey and Michael Osler just dominated that session and just nailed some sick waves and moved on through. So very, very interesting. So Lockie Cramsey and Michael Osler. So no credit taken away from Michael. He was probably the form surfer. Oh, he was definitely the form surfer of that heat and made it on through. But this heat, Hayato, Enonketo, Wes Fisher, Ben Player, Declan Clow. Jeepers, Benny, the heats just get better and better.
Yeah, there's actually this sounds probably actually unbiased. I'm really excited about watching Declan compete in this one. Declan, I guess he's really only been competing the last few years. Doing really well on the junior circuit and obviously put the hand up to go straight into the pro men's. He's feeling confident enough, and I know when you look at that you would have to say the final order might look a bit different, but
we've seen some shake-ups in the first few heats though, so you know, you just don't know. You would have thought that Liam Lucas and Liam Flanagan would have been solidifying their spot in the next round. Lockie Cramsey was just got it in the last 30 seconds. You know, Tobes, who was killing it, he got knocked. So, you know, it really opens it up. Declan, you know, he's probably just pinching himself to say, like, I'm surfing against three-time world champ Ben Player, and I'm surfing against probably Japan's greatest bodyboarder, Hayato Enonketo, and, you know, probably, like, they're all just pinching themselves because they're in pumping waves, and it's, you know, the sun's just come out. We're just ticking boxes left, right, and centre, Benny.
I think we'll have to get Tobes up for a chat. I thought he had it, but again, very similar situation to what you're saying with Jasper at that South Oscom. Like it's, you know, 10 seconds to go, you're still not safe.
Yeah, exactly right.
And with one fin, wow. So yeah, again, another big heat in the water. The Japanese samurai, Hayato Enonketo, defending New South Wales Pro / Northern Beaches champion from 2018. Wes Fisher, another, ooh, is he Cape Town or Durban?
Northern Beaches now.
Nah.
Yeah.
Always a South African, man. It's like if you went and lived over in the UK, would you be an Australian?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And then, yeah, three-time world champion Ben Player coming up against a little up-and-coming junior man, Declan Clow. Coached by his mum, by the way. Big shout-out to Sal.
Oh, g'day, Sal.
Declan probably doesn't thank his mother enough in presentations, so I'll do it for him.
Oh, but aren't mums the greatest sponsors of all time?
Mum and Dad's ATM. Yep.
Mum and Dad's, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we've seen Lockie Cramsey just making his way up. Wow, that was an absolute stonker. We might just get him in quickly just to give just to get a bit of an interview with him, get a bit of a post-heat sort of update on how he went there. Lockie, mate, how'd you go on that one? That was a tight one.
Oh, I'm still puffed.
How was that big section?
Yeah, yeah, I didn't really get many waves that kind of ran, so I kind of had to just, I don't know, I guess make the most of the sort of closeouts with a bit of power, and I just got lucky on that last one and sort of landed the roll just. I was kind of yelling in the whitewash. I was like, come on.
Because you could see you were trying to kick so far through it. You got a 6.6, which was just enough to get through Tobes. But what was your mind going through in that, like, the last stages? Because you had a solid first score, and then you were just getting some of those big ones that you were just getting pumped on.
Yeah, I got smoked on one. No, to be honest, I didn't know the scores. I knew I was in third, and here we go.
Yeah, this is Wes Fisher, just a nice little roll.
Smooth roll.
And he's got another bonus section.
Oh, that was
which
good.
was a better one.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, I'm still puffed. But yeah, no, it seemed to be pretty awesome heat from what I heard and what I saw. So I'm glad it was a good heat. And yeah, I think I just got really lucky in the end, and yeah, I got my opportunity and just scraped through.
Yeah.
I think it definitely could have gone either way. So
100% from up here, watching the heat live on the webcast, it literally could have gone either way. All three riders were just dropping solid scores.
Yeah,
It was literally battle of the backups.
Yeah.
It literally felt like battle of the backups, mate. So congratulations, you're moving on through to the next round, and it starts to get a little bit to the pointy end, mate. So congrats, and you get a little bit of water into you, mate, and get changed, and we'll see you a little bit later.
Beauty. Thanks, Dill. Cheers, mate.
Okay, so that was Lachlan Cramsey, who just came through from behind to come second and move on through. He was defending, just coming off the competition win at D-Bar. So if he was looking to get a good score under his belt to move on through, because he could be potentially crowned your 2019 ABA Tour champion by tomorrow afternoon, which we will be wrapping up, of course, the 2019 season. It's been a good, fantastic, big year here for the ABA Tour, and we're just finishing it with the bang. You know, we've just got some pumping waves here at the ABA Tour, and we are finalising some spots in some epic waves. So currently in the water, in the lead, Wes Fisher, he dropped a 5.83 on his last wave, so he's holding down first position. Benny Player, just a few throwaway scores, nothing sort of really registering for him. Declan Clow and Hayato and Akito, the same thing as we see Declan Clow with a smooth little reverse. He's just going to try to get a little bonus inside section, another little reverse over there, and he's just going to roll off the foam. Probably not something that he'll really want to hold on to at the end of the day, but probably will be enough just to sort of jumps over Ben Player and push himself into second position. And what a heat. This is sort of one of those ones that we're really looking forward to. Hayato still yet to catch a wave, and it'll be interesting to see what he does here, because he is renowned for loving his right-handers, but this is, of course, the left-hand wedge. So will be interesting to see what he does here, Benny, and if he can pull through and pull something, a rabbit out of his hat, taking on some world champions like this one. Ben Player just having a look, just not quite enough time to sort of drive onto the section as Joe Clark walks past the commentary tent.
Fresh haircut. Fresh haircut.
I wouldn't mind a haircut like that.
I've got a large salad bowl back at the lodge, mate. We can we can definitely arrange that.
Okay, not bad, not bad.
We don't pick on people here. We treat people
I legitimately really like that haircut.
Yeah. Speaking of hair, like if there's anyone that's had more haircuts on tour, it's Joe Clark.
Yeah.
He's had a shaved head. He's had multiple shades of bleaching, different lengths, different types of hair products. He's all over it.
Yeah, interesting to see. What I would be really interested to note is looking at these two NMD riders here, Hayato and Ben Player. Obviously riders for NMD, but probably riding completely different models of boards, and be really interesting to I guess probably look at what they both ride. Hayato, if you've seen him in real life, he's a little bit shorter. He's probably quite one of the lightest and smaller riders on tour. And he would be probably riding a 40-inch board, but a bat tail is his sort of go-to. Quite a wide shape. With BP, he's riding that new V-tail, which would be, it's kind of the same boards, two very different technologies, two very different models. And it'd be interesting to sort of see how that plays out here in conditions like this. Okay, so with about 10.5 minutes remaining, we're about halfway through this heat. Still no real significant scores just being dropped. But coming up in the next heat will be Silas Ganciar, Doug Smith, Joe Clark, and Michael Perrin. Another stacked heat. Silas, of course, is the seeded rider to go on through. He originally from Brazil, now resides onto the Gold Coast, and has been on this tour for a number of times. And I've just snuck a little guest in here. We're playing musical chairs as we welcome the winner of the last heat.
Thanks.
Michael Osler, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, man, good.
How was that?
That was surprisingly good.
Yeah?
I've never surfed a whaley like this before, so it was like I've never seen whaley bigger than 1 foot. Like, I've only been here twice, so that's not saying much. But yeah, so fun. I like kind of decided to sit down the beach. I watched Ben earlier. He sat a bit further away from the wedge, and yeah, man, I know it's not all-time whaley, but I've always wanted to get whaley, so it was good to be out there.
Yeah, and how does it, it sort of felt like a bit of battle of the backup scores, because everyone had high scores from the get-go.
Yeah.
I think there was Tobes at a 9.17, you had an 8.67, Lockie had a 7-something-7, and then it was basically a battle of who got that backup, and you quite consistent in terms of what you did on that backup, and it was just real close, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, well,
did it feel like that in the water?
To be honest, I didn't know the scores.
Okay.
I'd love to like come with a strategy.
Yeah, fair call.
No,
I'm trying to be a little bit more analytical than it should be, really, isn't it?
No, I think that would have been the right way to go about it. I just been watching throughout the day, and I kind of picked up that most people are getting one score, one good score, and then kind of like a 3 or a 4. And I just wanted to get to at least 2 5s in the first 10 minutes, and then at least I'm like
in the game.
I'm in the game, and then I could just go from there. But it definitely doesn't help when you get your first wave and you think, yes, like, oh, I've got a good one. Turn around and see Toby get like barreled down the beach, blown out. But yeah, no, it was a good heat. It was a lot of fun actually. There was no animosity in the water. Everybody was hooting for each other. It was good.
Yeah. How are the conditions? From here, it looks like it's been changing even again. Like, it looks like the winds come up a little bit. But is it?
I think it looks better in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I found a lot of the waves looked very makeable when I was in the water, but when I was on the beach watching them, I was a bit worried about like whether I was going to get through any sections or actually get to the bottom turn, because it's pretty like heavy in the corners. I'm sure you can see there, but yeah. I think it's better than what it looks, and if we were free surfing, I think it would be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for a free surf after this, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, for sure, I don't blame you.
It's tough watching you guys getting sick waves, especially watching like Toby get barrels and everyone's getting like fun little waves, and all of the little ones they're going unridden on the inside.
Yeah, so that was I will claim that was like a little strategy that I did have, that a lot of the guys are sitting far out because of the big sets, and I wanted to sit close in the first 5 minutes, because the wedge is pretty powerful here. So even on the inside one, as long as it's clean, there's no foam from the wave before, if the wedge pushes through, you can get enough power to do pretty much anything you wanted. I saw Ben do that earlier on an inside wave.
Oh, his big invert really was it off a sort of a medium-sized wave.
Yeah, fully. Yep. And that's kind of what I based my last heat on, because I haven't surfed here a lot. I kind of just have to watch the guys and see how they're going and kind of adapt, like do my own thing. Yep. Is that Ben in yellow?
That's Ben in yellow, who's taken off on this one. Just the end of it, you saw Wes just have a look at it, but Ben's just got a little bit of a corner. Nice, slow loopy roll. Oh. He just makes it through. Ben's he's sitting in second, but holding on to a 0.83, which is very unlike him. Yeah. So Wes, who's kind of do you South African guys sort of hang out together whilst you're in Australia and stuff? Because Wes has been here for a while as well, hasn't he?
Yeah. I grew up with Wes. So when I came over last year on a holiday to visit, and I hung with Wes a lot of it. When growing up surfing, he was a big influence to me. Yep. Like, I always looked up to Wes. I still do. I still think that he's one of the best bodyboarders out there. Like, I really, really do believe it. But so yeah, like in Australia, he lives a little way away from me. But we do like chat all the time and link up as much as we can for surfs, or even just to hang out. Yeah, just that guy is unbelievable. I'm sure you know. I'm sure everybody knows.
Yeah.
But like, I can't say it enough. He's next level.
He's a really understated kind of surfer, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like he's got one of the most fluid, smooth styles.
Yeah.
And he's sort of like when you're sort of out, I guess outside of a comp scene or something like that, you sort of don't really hear him, but until you see him in the water and you go, "Whoa, who is that guy?"
Exactly. Yeah. He the thing I love about Wes is he rides a 1 foot wave the same as he rides a 10-foot wave.
Yeah.
So
and that's such a rare attribute.
So rare, and he doesn't change his style. He's very, very powerful, and that's just from years and years of just perfecting what he does. Yeah, he's incredible to watch on a bodyboard.
Amazing. Interesting to see as you saw Ben Player just drop a 4.93 off that last wave. The guys currently in the water have pretty much moved 200 meters further south from, I guess, where they were sitting in the earlier rounds. Is that sort of something that you saw in the whilst you're in the water? Did you realize you were so much further south?
Yeah, so that was my game plan, to kind of sit south, and the three guys sat in the corner, and then I noticed by the end of the heat they were kind of paddling across, so I thought that I must be doing okay because they were coming to me. But you see what I'm saying about Ben, like, these are inside waves, but he's still going to get, that was so sick.
Yeah, small wave, but just generates so much power, doesn't he? Yeah.
I'm another Ben fan. Like, I just love the way he surfs. So powerful, so like clinical. But that's just going back to what I was saying. Ben's last wave, what was it? A
4.83. As you see this little replay of that reverse. Not a huge wave, but 4.93. Sorry.
4.93. So he did exactly what I was saying. He was heaps closer in. Where's the paddle for that wave? He was closer in. Is that?
That's Declan Clow. So pretty low scoring affair. I guess this is maybe like the ebb and flow of Mother Nature in surfing comps. Usually, often you have a heat of pumping waves, then like a slower heat. You guys happen to have like that heat of just sick waves, high scores, and then this heat kind of on the opposites, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it does seem that way. I'm kind of shocked. I'm looking at the scores now. Wesley's only got a 0.6.
Yeah. Hayoto's hasn't caught a wave yet. Usually he's like the busiest man in the water.
Yeah. I remember surfing last year against that guy, and I was like getting tired watching him.
Yeah.
He was mental.
Little Energizer Bunny, isn't he? And the amount of pop that he gets. Like
unreal. Unreal.
Absolutely out of control. You sort of see him off a 1 foot wave and he gets 3 foot above that wave.
It's ridiculous. I don't know what Mez is doing to his boards, but it's working. Here we go.
This is Wes on a right, which we haven't seen too much, but nice roll. Unfortunately, it looked like he just lost his inside hand on that rail and just got kicked out.
I think he was definitely just trying to get just a score, even a 3 under his belt, just to secure himself in second.
Almost a little bit too casual, you reckon, on that landing?
Too casual, yeah. And I think the sidewalk, you couldn't really see it on the replay, but from watching it live, you could see the sidewalk. He kind of hit it before the sidewall, and I think he landed straight into it, and that would have just put him off balance a little bit.
Yeah, far out. We're counting down to under 2 minutes.
Wow.
If you're looking at this heat and you're thinking like it's a very slow heat, we're probably thinking the exact same thing. It's time's flown by, and we feel like we've just sort of kicked it off, but no one's really scored something big, and we're 18 minutes down. So it's a bit of an unusual one, this one.
Very much so. Kind of looks like the corner's turning on a little bit now.
Yeah.
I've seen it, like, just from sitting here for a few minutes. I've seen a fair few. Man, how good is this wave though? Wow, Whaley. It was one of the spots that I really wanted to get when I came over here. Like, Whaley was like on the bucket list.
Really?
Fully. Like, I love beachies. I love wedges. This place was just like, any excuse I get to come here, I'm here.
Really?
Yeah, man, I love it.
What else is on your bucket list?
Oh.
So, are you based in Cronulla?
I'm based in Cronulla, yeah. So obviously there's all the waves around there, and I just want to. There's a lot of waves like in South Oz, West. Oh man, there's so many waves. This place is like I don't even know where I would start to list.
I've got some mates that are over from Portugal at the moment. They've got 3 months here, and they've literally in 2 weeks they've driven from Sydney to Adelaide 4 times chasing waves. Yeah.
I've been here 1 year. I haven't done that.
Yeah, they've got a camper van. They would have clocked up about 11 or 12,000 kilometres in 2 weeks. You can do it. It's a big country, and there's so many different ways.
That's what's so good about it. Like I really want to do that, but I've just 3 months ago I just had a son.
Oh, congratulations!
So, thank you. So it's been oh, here we go. Oh, was that Ben? No, yeah. I think that was Wes in white. Yeah, white.
So we're seeing a few waves coming in the corner, as you said, mate, and they, the riders, it looks like Ben's sort of paddling over into the corner. This is one of the lower scoring heats. Hayato hasn't caught a wave yet. Extremely rare for the rider in red, as you can sort of see him just sitting there, just waiting for something to pop through. Wes having a look at this one. Nice little, bit of a frothy one, but we'll sort of come to a section and launches himself into a roll, and he will ride out of that. So that's definitely going to probably improve maybe on his 5.8.
Here we go. Oh, straight hander.
Hayato. Okay, interesting one. So that does wrap up that heat, which is I was touting to be one of probably the highest scoring heats, to one of the lowest scoring heats of the
strange
heat. But of course you are watching the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro, presented by NMD. We're going to go to a break, and we'll be right back straight afterwards.
Now hold up, check the sound, flip the switch.
And a Whale Beach local, Toby King. Tobes, good to have you back on the panel, mate.
Toby King, that's me.
Oh, God. God.
It's been a long day, mate. No,
it's been a long week.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me back, mate. Yeah, well, you know, it's still good out there. Look, that here was quite a close one. I thought Hayato was going to come through, but looks like my bro Ben and Wesley came through, so they're both local Whaley guys. Or Wesley isn't, but he's still out here quite a bit. So.
Calls himself a local.
Yeah, he's blowing local.
Let's be honest, mate, he'll never be a local. Look, so, I can understand if you've moved from down the road and you're here for 10 years, then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Mate, come on. He's flown all the way here from another continent.
Yeah,
he'll never be a local. You know, it's World Cup time too, mate, in the cricket, so you can't be too friendly to our counterparts.
Looks like Celeste there, going big roll. That's a good opener.
So, Tobes, you and I were just having a little conversation outside of the tent, I guess, about the growing number of international competitors that are coming to the Aussie Tour. And Celeste Ganciar is one of those guys, obviously residing here in Oz, but born and bred from Brazil, so he's got that fire like most Brazilians in the water.
True, yeah.
Yep.
No, it's good. Good to see a bit of an international field. A couple of South Africans, I think. Look at that, nice reverse there. That's great. And another one, bang.
So, man in white, I actually haven't seen this guy in quite a while. Dougie Smith from Port Mac.
That was sick. That was nice, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, in my head I had two South Africans, or Josh Cleve and Michael Osler, but they're living in Australia currently. Everyone wants to move. Here's a replay. Look at that, bang.
That was super tight. Super quick.
Legs crossed.
Yep. Straight out of those, you know, early 2000s bodyboarding vids right there. Hey?
Exactly, mate. Cross those legs.
Yep.
How good's a Pirate Life replay, by the way, and those Brewskis going down a dream.
Mate, plenty more to be had tonight, Tobes.
Oh, mate, I'm out now, so I'll be frothing.
Hey, mate, speaking of tight heats, let's talk about yours.
Tough heat, mate. I thought I had it. I was playing it too easy. I was like 9 point whatever I got. This is in the bag.
You put the clubs in the back of the car, and you're in the golf cart back to the 19th hole.
Exactly, and then I backed it up with. Oh, I thought, you know what? I know what happens here. You never get the backup score. You just need a little backup score. So I did that, and then I thought, that's it. I've cemented my place, and then waited, and then just nothing, and then Cramsy just come and stole my thunder. Bloody bastard! Think he's Australian champ or something.
Wow. If you want to talk stats, mate, he's got 2 of them. He's going for his 3rd.
Oh well, no, but it's good to see. That was really. It's funny because I just looked at the highest score of that last heat, and one of the it was like eight combined or something like that. Whereas like some of the scores going down, it was like 9.
Well, if you look at that, you look at your heat. 2 highest combined scores. Mickey Osler 15.74, Lockie 13.93. That next heat, where's Fisher? Up there, 12.43, but then an 8.83 for second. Massive difference. Yeah. In saying that, you had a pretty solid heat with waves. There's
there's a lot of waves coming through.
Fizzed it off a little bit.
It goes on and off, so it's here we go. Here's something coming through. It's almost better if you have less waves in the heat because you get less closeouts and rips, but like less big sets, man.
Mate, tell us a bit about the wave itself here at Whaley, and tell us about the conditions today. Like, looking at it from my comfortable chair here in the webcast tent, it looks like there's so much water movement, which means obviously you're paddling a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work. So basically, after you get a wave, you really want to just try to get out as fast as you can, so to get pinned, because on the end section there's a lot of big closeouts and they just absolutely belt you. So you want to just keep out of the way. This is like a very heavy wave, especially on the inside. I don't think there's many beaches that pack this much punch as you've seen today. So this is not even that good, but you see like some of the raw power for sure.
Dylan Beach might disagree with you. He seems to think Knights is, it shapes up to Whaley.
Yeah, I think so too, no doubt. Yeah, any wedge is always going to be good action. So.
Hey Tobes, it looks like you got a few fans coming into the webcast.
Oh, it's my daughter here.
Who we got?
Hey Ram.
Daddy.
Hello.
She's down to watch. Having a good time.
Twin. No, it's not twins, is it?
Yeah, twins. Yeah, boy and girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a drone, but Mummy forgot the charger, so she threw it in the bin.
Oh, jeez.
I got it for Christmas.
Tough. That's tough.
She accidentally threw the charger in the bin.
Oh, here we go. Bit more action. So, yeah, mate, it's been a good event so far. It has settled down a little bit, don't you think?
Oh, I think that last 45 minutes, it's just tapering down heat by heat.
Yeah.
Looking at the the swell forecast for tomorrow, I think maybe around lunchtime it's going to taper off quite a bit. Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. And it should clean up. The winds are meant to stay light next tomorrow. So
next year. Wow, that's internet forecasting for you.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, mate, I was distracted by the daughter. Oh.
But right, 13.5 left on the clock. Dougie Smith from Port Mac in the lead again. Small combination score. Mickey Perrin with just a single wave score of a 4 in second. Selaskan Ciar also with just the 1 in the red, a 3.5, and Joe Clark nothing.
Well, he's in priority, I guess. So he's waiting for a bomb.
How did you find priority with how the water's moving out there?
I mean, really, realistically, it's anyone's game, because if you're in the right spot and on a wedge, you're in the right spot, and I don't think anyone's really going to enforce it. But yeah, I mean, it's good to know. You're in priority, so you can sort of be a bit more confident. You get yourself in the right spot. You don't get pushed too deep. That can be the problem, especially with wedges, like people going too deep and they're behind the wedge and just stuffing the waves up. So yeah, it definitely works. You can see it well from the water too.
Mate, let's talk about the shop. Mate, how many years now?
13.
Oof,
yeah.
You haven't aged a bit.
Mate, I don't know about that, but yeah, 13 years, going strong. Bodyboardking.com. So
and a great promo going on this weekend.
Yeah, we got a few promos. One is ABA 15 code, so put that in, and you get 15% off everything. NMD 15 is another one specific to NMD boards. Some of those are on sale, so you get a fair discount. And look at this yellow. What's he got for us?
Joey Clark's first wave.
Bang!
Nice.
Just in case you're wondering what he's
Joe
doing.
was,
yeah, there you go. That was good.
You might be in for a bit of a shock when you get into the office Monday morning with the amount of orders that are in the inbox.
Oh, fingers crossed. Yeah, I think actually before, I think the code wasn't working properly. I saw, so I did sort that out in between heats, and it should be working. So that was ABA 15 one. Look at Joe here. Bang! Nice little boost. What do you reckon? Is that a make?
Mate, I'm in the wrong chair. It's it's really tricky. I mean, I guess I've had numerous conversations with Craig Haddon, who's the technical director for the ABA, because we've had plenty of situations in the past. Some contests have different formats and different rules in place for what is considered a make. The most important thing for us, and it's been very clearly stated in our rule book, that rider must have momentum coming out of the wave.
Fair enough, yeah.
I understand the concept of, bouncing out and trying to get back into the lineup, but is it worth it for the risk to potentially lose a good score?
Yeah. There you go. So
and there you go. And not
exactly.
Incomplete.
It was good though. I think that was probably the best wave ridden of the heat, but obviously not rewarded there at the end.
I tell you what, I don't think Joey's going to be too happy when he comes.
Maybe fired up.
Yeah.
Could be something big coming.
Maybe. It'd be good to see.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. So
Mickey Perrin, as you can see, is looking for a bit of a score update. He's pointing to his Rashi. But looking in the background there for that wide pan shot, Tobes. Bit of darkness to the east.
Yeah. You know what? We've been very lucky today, though. It's been quite stormy, but we haven't copped any rain. So, I mean, the wind has come up. Usually, once the wind goes southeast, we get a fair amount of rain, but it hasn't kicked in that much.
All right, bit of a lull in the swell here, folks. Might jump on a few little shout-outs as we see Selaskians here having a think. Nick Mesritz watching live from across the ditch, or the north ditch, not the south ditch, chiming in regards to what equipment Hayato and Akito's on, a 38.5 inch.
Well, there you go. Pretty tiny.
Did you ever ride a board that small?
Mate, I'd sink that thing.
Did they make 38.5s when you were Grommet, or they're all
pretty
stock?
No, it was 42.
42s? Yeah.
42, and then I remember the like Mike Stewart 742s and 41s and 40s. So I think as I hit the teenage years, they sort of brought those out, which was good. What do we got here? Who else got shout outs for?
Right, Joshy Keenan up on the sunny coast, claiming Simon Cassidy would have rolled better. I think that's aimed at Lockie Cramsey. Come on, boys, keep it clean. Once again, big shout out to Steve from Gone Bodyboarding, another big supporter of the Aussie Tour. They've got a great promo going on at the moment, 10% off all their tees.
Boom.
Check out their new website, www.gonebodyboarding.com. Promo code ABA10. Damien and Alexander watching live from Sumatra.
Yeah, see all the VBC crews in Sumatra. Big shout out.
Yeah.
Hope you're enjoying a few brewskis or getting pitted off your head. I think Mike Stewart's over there too.
Yeah, Johnny Crookshank.
Yeah, all the boys.
Yeah, did you get an invite?
Mate, over the hill.
Yeah. Bart Semka is just wondering where the comp's held. So, Bart, we're on the northern beaches of New South Wales, so northern part of Sydney, place called Whale Beach. You won't find it on a map, mate, so don't bother. Emily O'Grady's just wondering where the scores are. Emily, you should be able to see all the scores across the top of your screen on your mobile phone or tablet. Otherwise, you can download the Stacked app for free from Google Play or the iTunes store. Great thing about this app, it's incredibly user-friendly. You can set up your own profile, add your favourites in terms of your favourite riders, and keep up to date with their scores as Joey's looking to replace something big. And
boom, little bank.
It's a bit...
Yeah, I love the Stacked app. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did
he look... He just looked a bit frustrated there, Joey.
Yeah, it was kind of a dangling in the carrot, that section, and then here we go.
Pirate Life replay. Kind of got a little punch to the ribs there by that lip and lost a bit of speed and kind of bogged it out. And
he did well for that section, I think. Good style. Can't deny that. He's always got good style, Joe Clark.
I don't know if you listened to his podcast recently with Joshy Kirkman. A really interesting thing about Joe, he didn't start competing until he was like 17.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But, grew up in a really good part of the Gold Coast and had some, really influential guys kind of show him the way.
Yeah.
Like Tom Smith, Corey McLean.
Yeah.
I think he's part of that Miami High crew. And then on top of that, teamed up with, well, in my eyes, one of the greatest kind of filmmakers in bodyboarding currently, Michael Jennings. And
yeah, he's prolific.
Yeah, MJ's put together a pretty incredible portfolio over the years for Joey, and not just for Joey, for all the Goldie boys, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's a freak.
He's onto it. There you go. You see Joe Clark got a 3.8 then for that little reverse.
So chipping them off. 1 down, 2 to go. 6.5 left on the clock. Silas Ganciar in the lead from Brazil. Dougie Smith in second, looking for a 3.01 to move back in that first place. I mean, Joe only needs a 3.97.
Yeah.
It's not a big score.
No, not at all.
You know, you got the ramps. There's enough power to be hitting sections to put down something big.
Yeah, it's all just a big clean roll. You got it. He did a nice one in his earlier heap. Got a nice wedge across and just boosted. That was good to see. I love that.
Mate, so many comments, man. I can't keep up. They're just flowing in left, right, and
yeah. Thanks to everyone watching on the web feed.
Yeah, Sharaf Nafi from Morocco. Silas Ganciar's got a few fans out there in Brazil.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah. Represent.
Who knows what time of year it is over there? Time of the day it is over there.
Yeah, it'll be some wild hour.
Yeah.
Might be in night time probably. Yeah, so you know this heat's a bit slow.
It is.
I must say it's sort of that wind has kicked in a little bit, but you know we're just going to push on through, get through today, and then tomorrow's a different day, and we'll have the
finals
rounds.
day.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a bit cleaner and lining up a bit better too, so fingers crossed.
So mate, this is actually the last heat for the day.
Is it?
Yep. So hopefully we can go out with a bit of a bang. 5 minutes left. More than enough time for all 4 of these guys to post something a little bit more, I guess, exciting. I'm sure all of these guys want to, you know, get something under their belt in preparation for finals tomorrow.
Definitely.
Realistically, a last chance for these guys to lock in a good seeding for next year as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we have a relatively small competitive field in pro men's, but even that ability to start in round 2, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to see. What do you think? One of the better events for waves? Like, I know it's onshore now, but earlier in the day, there's been some great highlights.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. Look, the tour overall this year, obviously, initially planned to be 3. Had to can South Oz, but so it's gone from 2. Started off the year, some pretty cool waves on the Goldie, shifting across the river into northern New South Wales at Fingal. Super fun waves, but nowhere near as heavy as what it is here today.
It's been some good moments, that's for sure.
And you got a sneaky wave in this morning as well, yeah?
Yes, at the local reef, Little Ave, which was pretty good actually. Me and another competitor, Michael Daly, we got out first. It was a bit dodgy. It was in the dark, trying to jump off. It was pretty big, so got a few little slabs there. It was good.
It's a bit of a reputation, LA.
Yeah, I mean, it you know, it can be a good wave and it can be a bad wave, but it was pretty good this morning. But you know what? I was out there for an hour and a half. I've had 4 surfs today already, so I'm pretty done. Could do a few double flat whites.
How's that tidy little forward by Dougie with a little
great
epo?
style. Here we go, some sets out the back too. Sun's hitting it perfectly. Here we go.
Mickey Perrin.
Boom, big roll. Is he making it?
Solid roll. Yeah.
Bang.
Definite make there for Mickey Perrin. So without a doubt, that's going to replace that 0.33 and a fair chance it's going to clear that 4 as well.
He could go to the front, I think, with that one.
3 minutes on the clock. I'd have to say, without a doubt, that's the wave of the heat.
I think so. I mean, that's a big section. Heavy bowl.
So 2 minutes 50. Silas Ganciar currently still in the lead with a 4.43 and a 3.5. Mickey Perrin with a super solid roll as we wait to see the Pirate Life Brewery
Look at this
replay. Joe Clark getting under that thing.
Joey Clark.
And
job done.
Wow.
That was pretty cool.
Disappeared in that shadow there, that sandy bottom barrel.
He loves getting those wedges across. That's what he did before with that big roll in his earlier heat.
So 2 minutes left on the clock. I dare say there's going to be a fair situations change as you see the Pirate Life Brewery replay there.
Pretty exciting. Good exchange at the end here. It's been like kind of not the best start of the heat, but coming down to the buzzer.
Wow. Scores just dropping for Mickey Perrin, an 8.17. That is a huge score with what? He got that 2.5 minutes on the clock, and geez, I hope he hasn't pulled a U here, Tobes, and just said, "I got this."
Oh, mate. Well, he's gone from 4th to 1st, so that's a big change.
Absolutely.
We've got some slabs coming in.
We're just waiting on Joey Clark's last wave score. That could have full potential to push him up into 2nd. Not too sure. He's looking to better a 3. Oh, not enough. 3.07.
Yeah. I mean, that was a nice wave. I guess he wasn't too deep, though, so...
We see a different angle as well from where we are here up in the car park at Whaley. Compared to what the judges, with 1:15 on the clock. As we count down.
Here we go. Another bite of the cherry. Bang! That's a nice roll. Is he coming out? Where is he? Oh, just can't hold on. I mean, that was a tough landing.
Unlucky there for Joe Clark.
I
don't think he's got enough time in this heat to get back out and get another.
Pirate Life replay. Bang. He lands quite nicely, but it just must have taken him over.
I think he just pulled him down.
Yeah.
Just pulled him down. 45 on the clock. Mickey Perrin looks like he's got this one in the bag. Silas Ganciar in 2nd. Dougie Smith needing a 3.01 with 30 seconds to go. And Joe Clark, he's looking to paddle back out, but I think his time's up, mate. As we, again, wrap up the final heat, round 2 for Pro Men's here, day 1 at the Bodyboard King New South Wales Pro, presented by NMD Board Co.
So, what time are we kicking off tomorrow for the broadcast?
Yeah, so mate, we'll be going live from 9 a.m. For a 9:15 start. Pro Women's up first. Again, touching base, had a bit of a chat with the women earlier on today. They decided they wanted to kind of hold off, didn't feel too comfortable in these conditions. So,
fair enough.
Look, mate, we obviously want to be quite lenient and understanding to our riders' responses. And
yeah, well, it's a heavy wave, so you can't underestimate it. It's going to be good to see the women tomorrow taking it on. Hopefully it's a bit more organised, a bit cleaner. I think the winds are going to be a bit better. So tune in again, and we'll keep the good times rolling. All
right, so that about wraps things up for us here at Whale Beach. I'm Benny Oborn, Operations Manager for the ABA. Joining me, Toby Player. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a proud supporter of this event, mate. And we'll see you here again tomorrow.
Perfect.
Going
see you
out
guys.
with a bang.
Thanks, guys, for watching. And
thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for the support. Bye.
Now hold up, check the sound, flip the switch. Now hold up, check the sound, flip the switch.